Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop because you earn cash back at over 3,500 stores. Fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, concert tickets, and more. Your favorite stores like Lowe's, Levi's, and Nike pay Rakuten to send them shoppers. And Rakuten then passes on a part of that payment to its members as cash back. You're already shopping at your favorite stores. Why not save while you're doing it? It's a no-brainer. Membership is free and easy to sign up. Get the Rakuten app now and join the 17 million members who are already saving. Cashback rates change daily. See Rakuten.com for details. That's Rakuten. Your cashback really adds up.
Your weekly dose of romance and drama has arrived. Season 29 of The Bachelor is here, and Grant Ellis, certified hottie and former day trader, is trading his day job on Wall Street for a second chance at everlasting love. New episodes drop every Monday at 8/7 Central, bringing you fresh twists in Grant's journey to find his soulmate. This self-proclaimed mama's boy is all grown up and ready to invest his heart. Will his playful charm win over the house full of hopefuls, or will the competition prove too intense? From heartfelt moments to adrenaline-pumping dates, each week brings new surprises in the mansion. Will Grant find his perfect match or end up with a broken heart? Tune in every Monday at 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu for new episodes of The Bachelor.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmie. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you for joining us. We have part 3 today of Gazza, and we might, this might not do it. I'm going to be honest with you. We might not get through all of Gazza today. We might have to go to an unprecedented part 4. We've had 2 3-parters, Mike Tyson and Sonny Liston, who were famous. He's like the English version of Mike Tyson, is what he is, basically. He's a mess, and he keeps going. And today we have more another song that he did to talk about.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Paul.
Fishing at weird times. There's so much, so many arrests. It's just a lot to talk about. We'll get into all that. Before we do, though, you certainly want to head over to shutupandgivememurder.com.
Oh, yeah.
Merchandise coming out of your ass over there. Anything you could possibly want is there. Not only that, tickets to Small Town Murder live shows, the entire 2024 roster of shows. I don't know. We'll call it a roster of shows. Yeah. The entire schedule's up here, and they're going fast. Couple dates are already sold out. One's in November, and it's sold out. So get your tickets right now for those. Shutupandgivememurder.com. You also definitely want to listen to Your Stupid Opinions if you have not listened to that yet. It comes out.
It's terrific.
It comes out like 16 hours before Crime and Sports does. So get on that. You definitely want to check that out and hear it. And also Small Town Murder, obviously, you should be listening to. And if you want more than that, we have more. Patreon.com /CrimeinSports is where you get all the bonus material, anything you could want, anybody $5 a month or above. First thing you're going to get is hundreds of back episodes of bonus stuff to binge on, and then new ones every other week. This week, what we're going to talk about here for Crime and Sports, we're going to talk about strangest injuries in history. Weird shit. How'd that happen type stuff where you're like, that was weird. And strange, odd injuries. Trust me, it's very fun. Some weird wrestling ones that are really... Woof, Sid Vicious jumping off the top rope and snapping his leg in half is probably the sickest thing I've ever seen. Okay, then for Small Town Murder, which of course you'll have access to as well, we're going to talk about some old-timey murders, dip back into the newspaper archives and get into some really weird, nothing hits like those early 1900s murders, I'll tell you what. So it's very strange stuff, lots of grossness, and they're very frank in the paper about what happened, too. It's really disgusting. We'll talk all about that. Patreon.com /CrimeinSports, and you'll get a shout-out at the end of the regular show as well, always, and do all that. By the way, here's a little show note. Apple, if you listen on Apple Podcasts, they did an update recently that apparently just screwed up their whole podcast thing. So
fantastic.
we've been told to make sure, go in, if you had it so it like automatically downloads, it doesn't anymore unless you go in and set it to. Again,
well done,
so
guys.
This update did all that, so it screwed up everybody's stuff. Everybody's numbers are all screwed up. Everything's all messed up now. So if you want the show to download automatically like it always had, make sure to go in there and hit always download, and it'll do it. So do that. Here we go. Part 3.
Okay.
Let's get into this. We will start out here in 2004. Let me see what he did. How many games did he play for Boston United? 5 games for them. He played 4 games in China. He played.
He's doing great.
From 2001 to 2005, he looks like he played in 15 games. So that's not great.
We're basically the same soccer player.
Yeah, we played the same amount of games there, so that's not good. So part 3 here, we'll start October 24th, 2001. He tells a TV audience, does Paul, that he wants to be called G8 now.
G8.
Just call that's going to be his name and like his whole trademark and brand. Just
like an airport gate.
Just gate. Yeah, and it also says gate, so it works out perfect. He it's his initial and his number on the English team.
Oh.
So that's what he wants
Got
to
it.
be.
Gascoigne 8. Okay.
Yeah.
So what, he's fucking Ocho Cinco?
That's, I guess. And well, that would be 2 8s there. But he says also
No, that's 85.
Or 85, yeah, what did I say? 88 now. He said that also, he said he liked it because it, quote, sounds a bit like great.
No, it doesn't.
I don't. He wants to change his name. He said this will be a signal that his troubled days are over. There's going to be like it's going to be like BC and AD, and he's like, I'm going to be born anew, and with a new name and a new identity, and this name will carry on a much greater G8 much greater legacy into the future. He announced his preferred new name during an appearance on Sky One's Tim Lovejoy and the All-Stars show. He says, I quite fancy G8. Watch this space because it stands for great as well. And all the guys on the show immediately were like, yeah, awesome. And then they started chanting it for him. That's how popular he is there. He goes on a talk show.
Nobody had the counterpoint to tell this is stupid.
No, I hate to say this, and I never would say this, but they need one asshole there who goes, mate.
What are you talking about?
G8. No.
Gascoigne. Bad idea.
Bad idea. But he says that over there it's a different story, though.
Okay.
We'll talk later because I'm going to play a video of a guy telling a story about him. Yeah. I'll tell the story separately, but just to see if anybody can understand this guy who's not Scottish, because this show is allegedly in English, and I watched it, and somebody tweeted, you got to talk about this story, and I watched the entire video and responded to him. I didn't understand one fucking word that man said. I have no idea what he's talking about. Allegedly, it's in English. I can't tell. So
tremendous.
Maybe it's just me here. But when he tells this story, all the people on the show are just like dying and clapping, and they're like, tell more Gazza stories. Like, they love him so much over there. It's not.
What the hell?
He can do no wrong no matter how much he fucks up. He says he gave up drinking in 2002. That's what he's saying on the show when he says he's G8 now. He says he's now really enjoying life. He said, quote, it's a lot better than it was 2 years ago when I was drinking. And that's what this name change is about, to acknowledge that I have moved on.
Yeah.
To better times here.
Nothing's as fun when you're sober.
No, he said it is. He said he's really enjoying it. I'm saying,
like, nothing else is as fun as this when I'm sober. That's what he's saying?
It's a lot better than it was.
Has he been on a boat recently?
2 years ago, yeah. He says he's having more fun not drinking than drinking.
Okay.
All right.
Whatever you say.
Sure, buddy. Yeah, okay. So they ask him about, what about all this media attention you've received over the years? It's been a lot of negative shit being said about you.
Sure.
And he said, quote, I think they are always going to have a go at us. At the end of the day, I've done nothing wrong to them. I just want to be the guy that enjoyed his football and entertained the fans.
Okay.
And I'm sure they gave him another standing ovation, all the hosts of the show. And
well done, GH.
Someone gave him a hand job just to make sure he felt okay at that point in time. So 2004 also, this is the reason why he's on these talk shows, not just because they love him. It's because he's promoting something. He is he's promoting his autobiography, which is Gazza, My Story.
He wrote it.
He wrote it with Hunter Davies. I don't think Gazza had a lot of pens in his hand.
He maybe said some words and Hunter put some pen to paper.
Picture him on the laptop, just really pecking away at it, going, hold on, I got to finish this chapter. And just like go, I don't see it happening.
No.
So, but it's not like a literary prose in this book. It's so I went here, right? And this bloody fuck said blah, 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 blah. It sounds like it's just transcribed from a tape recording.
Okay.
So that's what it is here. It's a fun book, though. I mean, he says a lot of dumb shit in it. A lot of here's what I did and why.
Think there's a lot of sentences and phrases and terms that have been changed for the protection of others.
It's a lot of just I was knackered and I did this. Like I was shit faced and I was pissed and I did this, and he was just I was drunk and I don't remember most of that. And then he'll be like, here's what This is what folks have told me I've done.
Yeah, this is what I've gathered in post-event
since then. So 2005, January 3rd, 2005, he is in the hospital with pneumonia at this point.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's seriously ill. It's in the newspaper, big article.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge article here. The giant headline, in the hospital, ill with pneumonia. They said he collapsed at his home.
Jesus.
That's some serious pneumonia. His doctor said, quote, Paul began feeling very unwell 2 or 3 days ago. It's definitely pneumonia, and it's bloody bad.
Oh, no.
A doctor said it's bloody bad.
I don't want a description of my illness to have the word bloody in it.
Bloody. It's bloody bad. Really? Is he bleeding in there? They said, we feared he had a collapsed lung, but that has now been ruled out. They're testing for other problems, though. It's serious. It's a possibility that he's got – this is his representative said. It's a possibility that he's got 101 things wrong with him.
Okay.
That's very specific here. Mm-hmm. So he's not officially retired at this point, by the way.
No?
Still. No. His former Rangers teammate, I guess, was a coach at this point, or a general manager for Rangers, who he used to play for there, Graham Roberts. He tried to sign him as a player coach in 2005 at Clyde, some other team. So in mid-2005, he spends 2 months as a player coach at the recently founded Portuguese team.
Brand new one.
Brand new. He's going to go be a player coach, Algarve United, but then return to England after a contract that they were going to give him never happened. So he went there to play. The contract didn't work out, so he came home. Okay. So he was appointed manager of Conference North Club, Kettering Town.
Oh.
That's not their – Kettering Town is the name of the team. They're in the Conference North in 2005, and also planned to put in enough money to own 1/3 of the club as well.
Oh, that's great.
So he's going to be an owner now. The previous manager, Kevin Wilson, was appointed director of football, and the other guy was appointed as the club's assistant manager. And bookmakers put odds on Gascoigne being dismissed before Christmas. It was late October, and there's literally odds you can bet on whether he'll be fired before Christmas.
Very funny.
But he said he was in it for the long haul. Damn it! Mm-hmm. Now the good thing was this got a lot of sponsors on board. Just the thought of him coming there.
Just by him being there.
The rumor of him, the whiff of him coming there. So they got a bunch of new sponsors. He ended up lasting 39 days. December 5th, he was shit canned. So if you betted the under on Christmas, if you bet the under, you won on that one. So
not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah.
The owner here blamed Paul's alcohol problems. This is when he said he was clean for a couple of years and how happy he is, saying that he drank almost every day that he worked.
Very sober.
Nice. So what's he doing when he's not working?
Maybe that's
a mess.
What he considers sober.
He just drinks
at
work.
Blackout.
Yeah. Well, I just drink at work. It was when I was home and I got drunk, I had problems. I know
what I'm doing.
Yeah. Now, Gascoigne later claimed that the owner had interfered incessantly, and the owner wanted to be the manager even though he doesn't know anything about football. So that's the problem. It wasn't me. It was him. It's never him.
Heads. Yeah.
It's never Paul. That's the problem here. He was never paid. He never got a contract. So he went there and they were talking about trying to work his contract out, but they fired him rather than giving him a contract. So
what the fuck could he possibly have done? He had to be a pain in the ass, right?
He was there for 6 weeks and they never paid him at all.
That's not bad.
Because
That's pretty good.
Free was 6 free weeks. And he wasn't. Yeah. They also didn't let him invest the money he wanted to in the club as he planned to. So they just used him to get sponsors and get some attention for 6 weeks, and then shit canned him, which is fair because I'm sure he was drunk and a mess.
And the other part is like how no professional athlete in America has gotten that treatment.
No, they don't get any of this kind of treatment. No, he gets treated like. He gets treated like Tom Brady, like that level of respect that everybody seems to have for Tom Brady.
But then they
also,
treat him like
fun.
an asshole and not pay him.
That's a team owner, though.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He's dealing with little teams. If Tom Brady was like, I'm going to go play for some league you've never heard of in Oklahoma somewhere, he might not get paid either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. The money might not be there.
That's the thing. But he put himself in a position where he didn't need to do that when he was drunk and done with the game. So, whereas Gazza has fucked himself pretty good here, and he still does. But this is a guy too. He can always make money. This guy, anytime he wants. He's so beloved.
He could probably run some fucking clinic and make more money doing that than whatever these teams were going to pay him.
That autograph signings. I mean, he's a big fucking draw. So
that's crazy.
These events, you have him corporate speeches he comes and does and gets everybody.
I can't believe nobody on that show told him G8 was a bad idea.
They also great idea. Man, they chanted it for Christ's sake.
Wow.
That's how sycophantic they were.
I mean, with Ocho Cinco, nobody said boo to him either. Nobody told him that's a dumb idea. He literally legally changed it. Made fun of him, but nobody told him it was a bad idea.
I mean, they laughed in his face. That was everyone laughed at him. And he was actually being, fun anyway.
Yeah,
that was crazy. But like, I don't know. He was always a fun player. You know what I mean?
I don't think he was ever a drunk asshole anyway.
No, not at all. No. Did he ever beat his wife up or something? I don't think he did.
I don't think so.
No,
I think Chad has always been a good dude.
I think he just kind of shut the fuck up and when he wasn't talking all sorts of shit, he just shut up and played a lot. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. He always seemed interesting.
I loved that guy.
Yeah, he always seemed like he was a tough little guy too. A tough player. Yeah. So, well, let's talk about some fun stuff about Gazza here. Some other fun stories that I saved for now. This is just like a smattering. First of all, would you like to see one of his album covers?
One of. It bothers me.
This is Gazza and Friends.
Oh my God.
Look at him. Let's Have a Party is the name of it.
He looks drunk.
I'm sure he is. He's not like currently playing. So he took a big swig of something and then took
Look at that smile. That is a drunk man's smile.
He just sat there. Yeah, he's shit hammered. Let's Have a Party. Yeah. Now that was the 1990 album.
Is
Let's
this
Have
all
a Party.
his music, or is this like now that's what I call?
It's Gazza and Friends. So he only has a couple of songs on there. That's where Fog on the Tyne came from and all that. But would you like to hear his other song?
Oh, God.
There's Fog on the Tyne, which we played for you in part 1, which is still in my head, by the way. It's been weeks. It's just so fucking catchy. But this is his other song, which it's worse, if I could be so blunt here. It's absolutely a worse song. Here it is. Let me rewind it because it was just terrible to listen to.
Because you've been watching and enjoying.
Well, I had to test it out, make sure it was good here.
You're having a good time.
Someone in the comments said, I have an urge to drive down to London and play this full blast from a car stereo. Excellent. Okay, so let's find out. This is called Geordie Boys.
Well, okay, that's where he's from.
He's a Geordie boy. So here we go.
Oh my!
Come on! They're showing soccer highlights.
Off the thing, yeah.
He's drinking fucking pints. Double fisted. Hold on.
The Gaza hop?
Gaza rap.
Oh.
The Gaza rap. That's what he said. The first one was just like, kind of speaking like.
Yeah.
It was almost like an Irish drinking shanty, like the first one.
Yeah.
It was just like a fun little fog of the time. Like it was almost like a group drinking song. Whereas this is a fucking rap song. Like this is he's rapping. Like it's bad. This is bad rap.
Does he threaten anybody? Is there any like I'm a bad man kind of lyrics? Or
he threatened to double fist lager. Someone's getting punched probably. To see him doing the double drinking from both things.
He mimicked it. Yeah.
He is a fucking mess. Let's keep it going here. We're gonna have a feeling we're gonna have to rewind a little bit at some point.
Get up off of that thing.
We are the Geordie
Boys.
Geordie Boys.
Okay, I can see how this could be catchy.
I guess.
If you're from that area, right?
If you've never heard music, probably. Maybe.
I could see a song called Townie Boys or something being famous in Boston.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, he thinks it's cool to be a Geordie.
Look at him dance.
Yeah.
He's got his head going. He did a spin. Oh, there goes the shirt.
Oh, the shirt's off.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Every time he says Geordie Boys, he takes his shirt off and flexes his abs.
Get up off of that thing.
Look at him dance. He only has the one verse. The rest is just him dancing.
This is very Mark Wahlberg.
He definitely wanted to feel the vibration, feel it. He was like, Marky Mark beat me to it. He's like, oh, so we work out with just cinder blocks and stuff or what? No? Oh. Marky Mark, motherfucker. All right. Now
who's he got singing the get up off that thing? Who's she?
Some hook they probably bought it from America.
Pre-programmed. Yeah.
Let's listen to a rap again. This is back.
There he goes. Yeah.
They take their music strong and loud.
It's a little homoerotic, right?
Keep on going to the Gazza rap. And that's it. So he raps for less than 30 seconds, and then the rest is him dancing, saying, "We are the Geordie Boys."
That is a thing.
That is a terrible... The first one's much better. Now, let me see here. The first one... Look, compared to this...
Yeah, this is like a...
It's like a group drinking song.
Yeah.
Like, we're all going to get hammered and sing this shit.
This song feels like what they would play at a fundraiser.
Yeah.
On like a telethon.
Let's get that kid a new kidney. Come on. So he's not trying to rap
of the
here.
Time. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Why is he doing this?
He said Geordie 4 times.
Yeah, that's all. And then that's his major dance move is arms in the air, too. He fist pumping in the air.
That tells you it's a fucking party, man. You got your hands up, it's a party.
And pumping it like, we're getting drunk. Yeah. Everybody's shit-faced.
I'm going to puke in the alley. Yay.
Yay. So that's impressive right there. So he's got his Geordie Boys song, which is, it's worse than Fog on the Tyne. It is somehow.
By far, it's not even close.
Especially because he's trying to rap. Like he's really trying to go fast.
Yeah.
But he's it's like real terrible rapping, like that old time, I'm rapping to the beat, like shit like that.
Yeah, I'm rhyming sad with mad, right? Yeah.
I'm real sad because I'm not mad, but I'm like shit like that. You're like, oh, what is this?
I woke up today, so the day's not bad.
Is this 1981?
Bad rhymes.
What the fuck is this? Yeah.
Who are you, Fred Durst?
This is bad. Yeah. Listen, Fred Durst. You suck. I would rather listen to this than anything Fred Durst has ever made. I'll tell you that much right fucking now.
At least there's fun.
Yeah. With this, at least it's fun. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, at least we're drinking and having a party.
I don't want to punch Gazza in the throat, so that works. So, anyway, here are some other fun stories here. I found just a lot of stories. Here's from a teammate, Ali McCoist.
Yeah.
He was hung out. I guess Rangers is where they were teammates here. This is fucking hilarious. Okay. Allie is woken up in the middle of the night by his terrified wife.
Yeah.
Shaking him. Hey, there's somebody in the house. There's somebody in the house, which you awoke in the middle of the night to somebody in the house. Terrifying. Yeah. So this guy, Allie, he gets up and he picks up a golf club and he goes downstairs looking for what the fuck this is. And you're ready to fucking take a swipe at him.
Oh, boy.
And it's Gazza standing in front of his open refrigerator like a bear that wandered in, just eating shit. Gazza was not staying at his house.
No, he just came over?
It's the middle of the night. He came over for food.
That's breaking and entering.
Well, no, not technically, as we'll talk about here. He explains it. Here's McCoy talking about it. He says, quote, I was in my bed at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and my wife said to me, there's somebody downstairs. So I listened, and sure enough, I could hear somebody downstairs.
Yeah.
He said, so I jumped up, and I got a 3-iron. I could never hit a 3-iron at the best of times, so it's the wrong club I've picked up clearly. Easier to hit a head than a ball. So
all right.
He said, I go downstairs, and I can hear noises coming from the kitchen. So you're faced with this prospect of a burglar or whatever it may be, an intruder in your house. So anyway, I actually kicked the kitchen door open, and what I'm faced with is the back of Paul Gascoigne in my fridge. This is 3:30 in the morning, and he doesn't even turn around.
Yeah.
He kicked the door open, like, ready to beat a guy with a golf club, and this dude just didn't even look. Paul didn't even look.
I'm in your fridge. Your leftovers are mine, all mine.
Wait, leftovers are all mine, all mine. Leftovers are all mine.
You're asleep. Your food's mine, all mine.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious. So he said, here he is. He said, I said, Paul, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He still doesn't turn around.
Being a Geordie boy, what do you think I'm doing?
Hey, this is what we do. This is what Geordie boys do. And he tells me, I'm making a sandwich.
Yeah.
I said, you what? W-H-A, you what? It's 3:30 in the morning. He said, now remember, he lives in the next village. He's not this next door neighbor. He got in a car to fucking come over here to eat his food.
Yeah.
There's got to be something open. He said, I know, but I woke up and I couldn't get back to sleep, and I'm hungry and I didn't have any food in the fridge.
So I Ubered here.
Ubered my ass. Probably drove 100 miles an hour there, running over pets and old ladies and everything else in his path. He said, so my next question is, clearly, how did you get in?
Yeah.
This is not your house. He said, quote, I remember about 3-4 weeks ago, you were on the phone to your missus and you told her you left the spare key in a wee bag under the oak tree. I remembered that, and I just thought I'd come and use your key and make a sandwich. He
woke up or couldn't go to sleep. He's like, I don't have any food.
Where's food?
Oh, that guy said he has a key in the front yard.
My teammate, I'm sure he has food. He's married and stuff. There's got to be food in his house.
But there's goldfish.
So he said, so I went back up the stairs and my missus said, what's going on? And I said, you're all right. It's just Paul making a sandwich. And he said, I went back to sleep and that was that.
You're all right.
You're all right. It's just Paul. Don't worry about it. But I mean, that with him, he wasn't even that blown away by it. He wasn't even like, oh my God, isn't that? He was just like, it's just Paul. That happens sometimes. Sometimes he breaks into your house and eats food like a wandering, starving bear. Don't
it's unbelievable.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer.
I can really show you how to make some money.
And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a micro-city built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
That is fucking amazing. And these are just like what all the time these stories people tell about him constantly. So let me tell you another story here. This is the Trout story.
Oh.
Now, this apparently is a very like popular story about him where he's hanging out with his teammates. A lot of these stories are like, it's 3 a.m. and here comes Paul doing something weird. Like that's always what it is. And this is one where he just, all of his teammates, they're in training, you know, it's like like preseason or whatever. And they're all inside and he just disappears in the middle of the night. And they're like, where the fuck is Paul? And he just comes back with 2 giant trout. They're like, where the fuck did you get those? He's like, I couldn't sleep, went fishing. They're like, what? The fuck is wrong with you? He's like shit-faced in waders with 2 giant trout. Apparently he's a good fisherman too.
Really?
So here is this man. This is Ali McCoy, the same guy whose kitchen was
the leftover raider. Yeah,
rampaged through.
No, it's just he's a legend, you know. But
here he is.
First and foremost, what a football player. I mean, what a talented football player.
I sort of understand that.
I actually think we might have got the best of him at Rangers. Because he was comfortable, he was happy, he could go and do his fishing and, you know, the whole bit. And
go and do his fishing.
The fans, everybody loved him. And how could you not, you know? And he's probably the one player that I ever played with that really could win a game himself.
See what I mean? He's such a fuck up.
What?
But nobody holds it against him.
Is that language?
I'd like to say this. Mike Myers did not go far enough in his stereotyping of Scottish. Like when he does a Scottish accent and you're like, Jesus, that's probably, you know, offensively.
That's overboard, yeah.
It's like, you know, Mickey Rooney in the 40s doing a Chinese accent. It's like, Jesus, calm down.
Jesus, take it easy, Mike.
He didn't go far enough.
The fuck did that guy just say?
Mike Myers had to dial it back some so he could understand what the fuck Shrek was talking about. That's what he had to do.
I could never do a podcast with that man because I can't have a conversation with him.
There'd be just like a 30-second pause and you'd be like, I'm trying to put that together. Hold on. I'm still thinking about it. All right, let's continue
He
here.
said, how could you not? And I was like, it took literally 5-6 seconds after that for me to understand that that's what he just said.
It's hard. I've listened to this interview like 6 times, so I've gotten like a couple of the lines now. Just, you know.
Take a game by the scruff of the neck and win a game with just sheer ability and determination.
He can take a game by the scruff of the neck and just win a game with sheer ability and determination. Trust me, this is not the first time I've listened to this. It's so many.
Talent. Plus, he was some boy. I mean, that story, I'll never forget that story. He used to go fish. I mean, you know what he's like. He's an insomniac. He just could never sleep. He loved his fishing. So we used to.
He could never sleep. He's an insomniac, and he loved his fishing.
Got it.
He loved his fishing.
He came into training every morning, call on tie. When we trained at Ibrox, that was just something. The history of the club, 140 years.
No idea.
140
years, I heard.
And he used to be on every morning, bang on 9 o'clock.
What?
Did he say bang on 9 o'clock?
I think he'd bang somebody at 9 o'clock, I think is how it would work. You get all your fucking done now, I think they tell you in training. Hold on. I'm going to go back because I didn't get that. Let's see.
About 140 years, we used to come in, call on time. So,
no.
And they used to be on every morning, bang on 9 o'clock for training at 10.
Something at 9
One
o'clock.
morning he's not there. It's 10 o'clock, 9:45, and we're looking about, where's Gascoigne, you know?
Okay. He showed up late one day, I'm guessing. They're supposed to be there at 9. One day it's 9:45. Where's Gascoigne?
No Paul.
No Paul. Okay.
And the door gets kicked open, and he comes in. with a pair of waders on. Right?
Comes in the door with a pair of waders on.
Yeah.
On tie. Holding up two of the biggest trout you've ever seen in your life, right? So we were just falling about laughing. Couldn't believe it. Hysterical, right? So he was injured and I was injured. So the boys got away in a minibus on the away training. And
Huh?
So that's really Pietragallo.
That's English.
Holy shit.
I don't think that's what the king had in mind there. This is fucking cruel. That's why Scotland, they're like, we're not only going to go against you, we'll barely speak that language that you want us to speak. That's how much we're going to fight this whole thing.
He said trout. It sounded like an entirely different word.
It sounded like he said like fruit and tree mixed together.
Yeah.
You got a trout? What the fuck are you talking about? Okay, so they were both injured, and I think he said something about a bus, possibly a mini bus of some kind. Let's see if we can.
holding up two of the biggest trout you've ever seen in your life.
Okay.
Right? So we were just falling about laughing. Couldn't believe it. Hysterical, right?
Trout?
So he was injured and I was injured. So the boys got away in a minibus on the away training. And
mini bus.
he said to me, he says, right, come on, Coist. He says, we'll have a laugh for the fish. I says, what do you mean? He said, right, who's been annoying you? And I went, I said, you.
Let's have a laugh with the fish. He said, who's been annoying you? He's going to he's going to fish
somebody.
I says, Gordon Jury's been really annoying me. He says, right.
So he tells him.
Pocket, get his car keys. So we went into Dukey's car, his trousers, went out of his car. Right? So he comes out, the two fish, Gascoigne. So we open up the boot. No, this is unbelievable. So we unscrew the spare wheel, and I throw the fish in, and I go to throw the other fish in. And Gascoigne says, no, he says. I said, what do you mean? He says, watch. So he takes one of the fish out, screws the wheel back on. He finds a compartment in the back seat of this car that you wouldn't know existed, and throws the other fish in there.
Monster.
And he looks at me and says, when he finds the first fish, he'll think that's it.
Okay.
He finds the first fish, he'll think that's all of it.
He said, who's been annoying you? He said, oh, this guy.
Yeah.
He said, okay, go in his pants pocket and get his car keys. So they stole his keys while he's practicing, threw one in the trunk. This guy goes to throw the other one in the trunk, and Gascoigne says, no. And finds a hidden compartment that you don't know is there. And then says, when he finds the first fish, he'll think that's the only one. He thinks he found it. That is fucking diabolical.
That is a monster.
That's a diabolical motherfucker, and that's hilarious.
He's going to ruin this man's car.
Oh, yeah. Oh, somebody I worked with, like in 2010, they did that to somebody. They put fish under a seat. And this was in Phoenix when it was 120 degrees outside, and they
did it to me.
Windows up. Yeah,
on a
that was
weekend.
A work truck, though.
Yeah.
That wasn't your car. You dropped that fucking thing off and go, number 12 is fucked up, and you get a new one. This was this guy's car.
Retire it.
This was his only car.
Oh, my God.
And it was a terrible car. It was like an old Saturn. It was all he could afford. He made like $8 an hour, and his car was fucking destroyed.
It's ruined. It's ruined.
It was destroyed, ruined. So he
you
drove
can't
around
get in
reeking of fish.
You will throw up.
His air conditioning didn't even work, so he just had to smell this hot fish all the time. It was really.
Oh, God.
I felt terrible for him.
They ruined. They threw the truck out. They retired.
I bet. Yeah.
It's you.
Give it to the
new guy. I opened the door and threw up.
That's the new guy's truck now. Here you go, day one. Here you go, buddy. Have a good day.
That's your truck, fish.
Just kidding. And then you fucking take it back. It's just you keep it for a joke every once in a while.
Yikes.
Right, let's let this guy finish and see what happens.
Do you know what I mean? It's a sensational criminal being a man. That's what we're dealing with. Well, I need to tell you, for the next 3 or 4 days, Jury's coming in and saying, "We're smelling my car. I can't get rid of it." He says, "I'm even stopping at the traffic lights." He says, "There's people walking by me." And then, of course, he finds the first fish. Like Gascoigne said he would find the first fish. And he thinks that's it. But he says, for the life of me, I can't get rid of the smell. And I swear to God, we went out one day to go on the bus, and you know these wee Christmas tree air fresheners? It was like Sherwood Forest. You've got yellow ones, orange ones, blue ones, purple ones, every fragrance known to man, you know? And I could take him about a month to get rid of the smell in the car when he found the second fish. But, I mean, that was Gascoigne, the funny side of Gascoigne. But,
that was Gascoigne. Ruining people's cars.
Destroying property. He said he bought a Sherwood Forest of fucking of pine trees in every color and everything else.
It'll never fix it.
Great human being. Well, obviously well documented his problems, which we obviously hope he sorts himself out, which would be great. But what a lad.
What a lad.
What a lad.
What a lad. So there you
go.
You'll
never get that smell out of that car. It's
fucked.
It's just dead body that's in there.
That's hilarious. It's so fucking funny.
Yikes.
Another funny story was he was on the road, on the street, and in London he was walking by, and there was guys working on the street. You know, a road crew working on the street. And there's a guy with a big fucking, pneumatic jackhammer breaking the street up. And he said, "Oi, let me have a go." He said, "I have a go at that?" And the guy was like, "Holy shit, it's Gazza." So he just handed him over the jackhammer. And here's Gazza not knowing we're just fucking jackhammering a London street
around
with people cheering for him. Yeah! Cheering as he jackhammers the street poorly. Like that, he can do anything he fucking wants. That's
nobody gave a fuck about the big guy that handled that thing just fine. They only care that he can't do it, and they're happy about it. Wow.
Yeah. He would do fucking his one friend here, Tony Cunningham on the team. Mm-hmm. He, I guess, booked him a number of tanning bed sessions.
Yeah.
Like made a bunch of appointments for him and gave him all his information and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Tony's black.
Oh my God.
So not a huge portion of the tanning bed sales go to black people usually. So he just did that to fuck with him. Thought that was fun. Yeah. He's destroying things. He's a total asshole. That's what I mean. If I told you all the things he did and didn't say he was a great soccer player or any of that, you just go, "Wow, what a dick." He's the guy's gonna fucking kill somebody. He's like Sonny that can kick a ball. He's a mess.
He's such a dick.
He's such a fucking dick here. Here's another story. Okay. All right. He says that, I guess this is about a guy named Doug Ellis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who is this him? Oh, this is from Gazza. Okay. Yeah. So he heard Doug Ellis is going to do this. Doug Ellis is going to do that. Doug Ellis had installed the best pitch. Doug Ellis had flown to the moon. By lunchtime, we'd had a few drinks, and although we shouldn't have, and I decided it was time to take the piss. There was this big-ass yacht anchored about 300 yards off the beach, and when I saw it, I shouted, "Oh, look, Dougie and his boat." I started to swim out to it, and a few of the lads followed, mainly because I said that would probably have loads of drink on board. As we got nearer, I was calling out, oh, Dougie, where are you?" Just then, a bloke peered over the side. "Hello, Paul. Fuck me, it was Doug Ellis." So he was making fun of this guy.
Yeah.
I bet it's this guy's boat.
Actually him.
It's actually his fucking boat. About 8 of us clambered on board, including Gary Lineker's missus. We must have got through about 30 bottles of champagne and all his food. It was brilliant. Jesus. At one point, I leapt on Mrs. Lineker for a laugh, and we both tumbled over the side into the ocean.
He can just go cause problems on a man's boat.
He tackled his friend's wife over the fucking side of a yacht.
And we all have a big laugh.
And everybody goes, "Oh, that's Gazza. Look at him. Hey, get some trout while you're down there, mate." What the fuck are you talking about?
There's a man that's annoying me. Grab a fish while you're in there.
If you tackle my wife over the side of a boat, we're fucking fighting. Yeah. There's no doubt about that shit. But he said, fortunately, she saw the funny side, but I am not sure Gary did. I bet not.
No.
He said, by the time we had to leave, I was smashed. We were swimming back, and I was about 100 yards from shore when I began to get tired. I decided that the best thing to do was to take a deep breath, dive to the seabed, give myself a moment to relax, then push up and swim back as fast as I could.
How fucking deep is it?
It doesn't matter. Who the fuck would think when you're swimming, I'll take a deep breath and just sit on the bottom for a while with no air, and that'll give me the energy to then swim to burst this last 100 yards. Get on your back and float for a fucking minute.
100 yards.
It's a long way to swim.
How far out was the boat, too? Because it's further than 100 yards.
It's a yacht, so it was anchored out,
oh my God,
where it's deep enough to anchor, I guess. Wow. So he keeps going here. I decided the best thing, that's crazy. Yeah, I know, not the smartest decision I've made, but I was pissed. As I was coming back up, I must have got turned around because after resurfacing and swimming hard, I looked up expecting to see the shore, but discovered I was heading out in the wrong direction.
Now I got to go back to the bottom and get tired and rest again.
Idiot. I got to look for more trout. He said, wow, I'm in the wrong direction. I was beginning to struggle and I panicked a bit. It was quite frightening. I started to wave my arms in the air, and luckily enough, a little dinghy with an outboard motor turned up. It was Gary Lineker and another bloke. Get in, you daft bastard, he said. When I looked up, it was Nigel Kennedy, the violinist. Okay.
Okay. All of a sudden, he's just got all these famous people just right near.
Yeah, all these famous. I think he's hanging out in a place where famous people hang out. But that's
probably Ibiza.
That is fucking amazing. That's how ridiculous this man is in general. So my point is that he can do anything.
Yeah.
And everybody just goes, he's having a piss. Like, he's fun.
Not only do people save him and not give a shit.
They don't kill him.
Just famous English people just turn up and help him. Like,
they all know him.
You're not going to believe this, James. I was going to run to San Diego one day. And I got really tired, and then Lars from Metallica just picked me up.
It was wild, yeah. He just pulled up. We argued about fucking Napster for about an hour and a half, and then he dropped me off.
Ridiculous.
He's a weird little Dutch man. So that's who this guy is, though, is what I mean. No matter what. So how do you fix yourself when there couldn't be less consequences for all of your fuckery?
Yeah.
Like, over here, guys keep fucking up, and there's always consequences. No one's always ever like, oh, he's a great guy. He tackled my wife, and he, broke in my house. No one thinks that's great. They'd call the cops here. So there.
You'd have a problem for sure.
Yeah, there he can't. And no matter what he does, they're like, that's Paul. He's a crazy bastard, ain't he?
He wasn't invited over.
Okay.
He wasn't given a key. He overheard a conversation months ago and then remembered it and broke into my house with that key.
It's not even like he was telling Paul he leaves a key out for his wife. That guy had no idea Paul heard that conversation. He's cataloged that shit a few weeks and was like, you know what? He has a key. I bet he's got lunch meat.
That's going to be useful information to me one day.
You know who's got cold cuts? Allie. That's who it is. Going to his
always
house.
Got him.
Yeah, he's always got cold cuts. So another one is from Paul Stewart, who is a former teammate of his on the Spurs here. And he said, Stewart said, quote, every day he'd be up to something, causing havoc with his jokes. I got on well with Steve Sedgley, who later joined us from Coventry City, who we both knew from England and youth and under-21 setup. He was nicknamed Long Neck for obvious reasons. Apparently he's got a long neck.
Short neck?
I think, he's necklace. 4'10".
Yeah.
He said, one day, whilst Venners was taking training, all the players were on the pitch in a circle around the halfway line. Gazza was late. As always, the boss was asking me where he was, like I was his minder. Just as I was about to make an excuse, Gazza turned up with someone alongside him carrying a brown sack. Now, we talked about the ostrich thing, so this is part of that. That was the goose we talked about. We didn't talk about this. Okay. He said that the sack was moving as if something was in it. Just as Venners was about to rollick Gazza for being late, the bag was opened and an ostrich ran out wearing a Spurs shirt.
He put a shirt on it.
He somehow put a jersey on an ostrich, which is not easy, I assume.
How big is this ostrich?
It can't be full grown because he had it in a bag.
No.
A full grown ostrich is like his size. It says he'd have to come out like arm in arm with the fucking thing. Like, hey, I brought my buddy with me.
You could sit on an ostrich's back and they're still taller than you.
They're fucking big. Yeah, they're big goddamn ostrich. They're big. I'm talking even like the bodies are high. Like his body would be up to Paul's chest. So he said there was a number 7 and Sedgley written on the back because that guy's got his long neck and they got an ostrich.
Oh, okay.
It's a funny
joke. Yeah.
The lads just fell about laughing. The ostrich was running around our training ground in a white Spurs shirt with the whole team watching. Everyone, the kids, the training staff, the apprentices, stood open-mouthed or in hysterics. Venable's face was a picture. The bird went running off in a panic and had some job getting it back. I'm not too sure what the animal rights people would say if they knew that Gazza had a bird from the local zoo dressed in a Spurs shirt loose on training ground. He claimed that he had, quote, borrowed it from the Broxbourne Zoo. We were never able to verify if that was true. He stole an ostrich. Or...
Because the giraffe cage was locked.
Yeah, I was going to say, he wanted something more than that. But more than likely, he probably just, like, got a zoo guy to fucking give it to him. Or probably gave him 100 pounds or something. I mean, think about it. He's Gazza. They're not going to fuck. What are they going to do? He probably
Tell you
was
what,
like...
You give me the name of 3 people you hate, and I'll put fish in their car. Just give me an ostrich.
And tickets, too. Tickets and fish cars. That's what I'm offering you right now. How about that? So he also said, quote, off the pitch, Paul was a strange combination. Shy, but a real practical joker. One of the brightest young talents in the game, but so insecure as a person. Generous, funny, apparently happy-go-lucky, but riven by strange habits, doubts, medical conditions, quirks of character. He said in the early days, if we went out and did something to eat, went out for something to eat together, he would finish off his main meal, then he'd order 3 desserts and make himself ill. I never understood. It was hard for me to know. Even what to say at that point.
Why would he do that?
That's what he did. He gorges himself, no matter what it is. Drugs, drink, food. Remember, he likes sweets so much he'll gain 20 fucking pounds in no time. He just
binges everything.
He binges everything. He binges life. Paul binges life. That's what I mean. 1 trout in the car is not enough. 2 has to be.
Paul Gascoigne, life binger.
Yeah, it's not enough Netflix. To tackle Gary over the side of the boat. You got to do his wife. That's funnier.
Yeah.
That's crazier. He said, I had not seen anything like that before. It became an everyday aspect of life with Paul Gascoigne. At home, Gaz's behavior was just as bizarre. He was showing the first signs of his obsessive-compulsive disorder. This is a problem now, too. He said if we were driving to a game together, which we often did, as we were sharing a house, he would tap the rearview mirror all the time because it had to be precise for him. He had to do things his own way. On other occasions, no matter how important the match was, he would want to return home. It could be Manchester United, but he would make me turn back to check if he had locked the door or if the remote for the TV was in alignment. He didn't leave the remote straight.
Yeah.
So he makes this guy turn around to go home so he can make sure he's straight in the remote. Not I left the oven on.
Hold on, the remote's not straight.
The remote's not the iron is on and we're going to burn the house down. This is the remote might not be straight like I like it. So
you're not even there, man.
Yeah. So when he's late sometimes, that's why.
Wow.
He's doing shit like that. He's got to drive halfway there, turn around and go back and make sure his shit's all straight. He said he would go upstairs to the bathroom to see if the towels were straight. Wow. One day we were running really late for a game. I was driving to White Hart Lane on the A10, and he said he had forgotten something and insisted we go back, which meant driving the wrong way down a dual carriageway.
Oh, my God.
He had a wallet flap where he kept his credit cards. He was holding this wallet up in the front seat, pretending it was a police warrant card while I was flooring it because we were so late. He's holding out like official business. It's just his Chase card.
American Express, excuse me.
Capital One coming through, folks. Let's go.
What's in your wallet?
Let's go. Move along here. That's insane. So that's the type of shit he would do. He also said another story here. He said Gaz's eccentric behavior continued long after the Spurs days. He rang me up one Friday night after I had finished playing. My daughter Chloe was still at school. It was around 2001. He said, I used to go out on a Friday with my mates, so I turned the phone off. He called about 8 o'clock at night. I did not phone back. Then at 8 a.m., when I turned the phone on again, I found I had been bombarded with calls from him and messages on the answer phone saying he was coming to Blackpool to see me. Then there was a series of messages asking, where do you live? Around lunchtime the next day, he arrived, and I said, how did you find me? He got someone to drive him up to Blackpool from London and went into the Tesco down the road, the grocery store.
Yeah.
He just went in and started shouting, does anyone know where Stewie lives?
And somebody told him?
In the grocery store. He said, unbelievably, there was a mate of mine in there who saw him and said, I know, it's North Park Drive, but I don't know the number.
Because Gascoigne is screaming it.
He's just screaming it in a grocery store, but everyone knows who he is.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, it's Paul.
Yeah.
So Gazza came to the top of the street looking in windows to see if he could see any photos of my kids on the mantelpiece. Nope, that's not. Nope, Indian family. That's not them. Nope, these guys. Nope, there he is. Okay, I recognize those kids.
Street name and started looking in houses.
In windows. Not even like cars or like look on the mailbox for a name. He's just looking in windows, which is amazing. One poor fella found a slightly drunk Gazza looking through his window first thing in the morning, shouting, "Have you any idea where Stewie lives?" Some guy in his robe going, "Huh? Who's out there?" When Gazza eventually turned up at my home, it was a lovely summer's day, so we had a barbecue in the back garden. Okay. For a bit of fun, he started going through his phone and ringing up famous people.
Oh.
Just fucking with them. Eventually, he got through to Robbie Williams and made him sing his hit Millennium down the phone to Chloe and her school friend who could not quite believe it.
Sing to these girls, would you?
Sing to these kids, my friend's kids. Just sing to them. It's her birthday, so here, sing it out. Wow, that is nuts. Chloe recalls Gazza encouraging her to cycle down the drive while he waited at the bottom to stop traffic in case someone came onto the road. He tried to take a photo. It didn't work, so he just threw away the camera. He's just nuts. It's
out of his mind.
He's like a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
It's if you know the movie Big with Tom Hanks.
Yeah,
imagine it wasn't like a 12-year-old.
Imagine it's Charles Barkley.
Yeah, no. But imagine the kid wasn't 12. It wasn't Tom Hanks, a 12-year-old in Tom Hanks's body. It was a 5-year-old in Tom Hanks's body. That's what you have here.
Imagine it's a 5-year-old that gets to be in Michael Jordan's body and just goes and does wild shit.
Just crazy shit.
And people just forgive it because it's Michael Jordan.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Even Jordan, Jordan, we made fun of him for gambling. Everybody said that his dad got killed because he was a gambler. He fucking had a Hitler mustache for a while. We all made fun of him for that. This guy could have a Hitler mustache. They'd all crack up laughing. Look at this idiot. He probably doesn't even know who Hitler is. It's probably just he thought he came up with a new style. So he said he was full of fun, full of laughs, a great fella just to be around when he was on form, but he was also completely unpredictable, hard to fathom, and a nervous wreck at times. When he was ringing random people on his phone, he could not get through to TV presenter Dale Winton. Never heard of that guy. So he left a load of abuse on his answering service because he didn't answer straight away. I'm still not sure why he had the number for Dale, but that was Gazza. Totally unpredictable and capable of doing anything at any time.
Just calling random famous people.
So there are just some stories to give you some more background because there was a lot of people like, I hope you have all these stories. And it's like, well, there's so much crime. I don't know how much time we have for stories.
He's reckless.
They're fucking hilarious and ridiculous. Yeah. And they it also lets you know when he keeps getting in trouble here. It's almost like, well, what do you expect?
Yeah.
Everything he's done ever, you guys are like, oh, it's Gazza. Don't worry about it. It's just a fish or, hey, let it tackle your wife or...
It's just a turkey sandwich. It's not a big deal.
It's just that, or so what? The zoo isn't that secure anyway. I mean, sometimes you can steal an ostrich.
He stole an ostrich.
From the zoo. So here is December 6th, 2005, and there's a picture of Gazza looking like, who, me? And then a guy with a bloody face, as you can see here. I'll show you the picture.
Okay. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gazza doesn't look like he could knock a guy out anymore.
He's like, me? No. Yeah. He's got like Liberace jewelry on right now too, which is pretty funny.
What is he doing?
It's a lot of bracelet he's got on there. So this is from the Evening Standard, and the headline is Gazza is held for assault hours after sacking for drinks incident. So this is right after he got fired. Mm-hmm. Remember we said before all those stories he got let go without pay. And now he's in trouble here. The newspaper article goes on to say, Paul Gascoigne was questioned by police today over an alleged assault after spending the night behind bars. He was arrested hours after being sacked as Kettering town manager over what were claimed to be 37 alcohol-related incidents in 5 weeks.
37. That's every day.
There's only 35. Yeah, that's every day, I guess, with the months. As I say, there's only 35 days in 35. 5 times 7 is fucking 35.
Every day, sometimes 2.
5 weeks. Yeah, that's 35 plus 2 extras.
Yeah.
That's insane. Every day. The former star admitted drinking a double brandy before a game at Kettering, adding, quote, so what? Before it used to be 4 bottles of whiskey.
It's only 2 drinks.
It's only
in
2
one.
What the fuck are you thinking? After an emotional and highly publicized bust-up with the owner of the club, he was held by police in Liverpool last night for allegedly lashing out at a photographer. He was released on police bail tonight. He was in the city to speak at a fundraising dinner on behalf of a drug and alcohol rehabilitation charity. Oh, my God. 4 police vans were called following a fracas outside a restaurant. The incident happened when he was asked by a photographer, Steve Farrell, whether he could take his picture. When the cameraman tried to shake the star's hand, Gascoigne is said to have hit him. He said, let me shake your hand. He's, pow, there you go, bitch.
They said you could take my picture, not touch me.
Wow. Paramedics treated the photographer for an injury to his right eye.
Yeah.
Gascoigne walked across the road to the hotel he had earlier dined and was arrested. That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, he was, wow. He said Gascoigne, this is the Kettering town chairman and owner, he said that Gascoigne was under the influence of alcohol before, during, and after several first-team games and training sessions.
Okay.
Just drunk all the time. This has been noticeable to the directors, players, coaching staff, and media. Wow. The one-time Newcastle and Lazio midfielder admitted drinking brandy before one game, but insisted he had been stitched up and then said he had intended to join the team for their game tonight despite the appointment of a new manager. Gascoigne said, I'm upset the manager. I upset the manager, so he sacked me, but I know I've got all the players and supporters behind me. What does he know about running a team anyway? I was just having a drink in memory of Georgie Best, who I loved.
Okay.
So he's saying, I'll just go play anyway because everybody likes me. So the owner has no say in this.
I don't understand why you think he's always drunk. And
he's drunk
he can
playing.
claim to be clean and sober and still drink, but he can justify why he's drunk. And
he's like, fucking indignant about it. Imagine a player in any major American sport drinking before a game and then being like, fuck you. Yeah, that's right. I had a drink. So what? You'd be like, what are you talking about?
At least it wasn't a bottle.
Yeah, chill out, man. I usually do coke before the games. He said that Gascoigne earlier launched into a bid to buy the club, insisting that its players and staff were behind him. Laddick turned down his offer and urged Gascoigne to seek, quote, professional medical assistance.
Okay.
You're crazy.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
During a rambling interview on Sky Sports News, Gascoigne dismissed Laddick's knowledge of the game, saying, "He told me he's been watching football for 20 years, 5 days a week, and knows how football should be played. I'm a genius and I know what goes on the pitch. I won't walk away. I'll do it my way, and I'll keep doing it my way. I've had all the players on to me since 1 this morning, and they're all behind me. The staff are behind me, and Kettering Town are behind me." Wow. He said that he was going through a tough time over the past year. And he said he's been doing counseling. He said, if the fans want me out, I'll leave. Okay. The owner said, "I've tried to help Paul through this difficult period, but gave an undertaking to the board prior to my takeover that if Paul hit the bottle, I would remove him. I've had conversations with Paul, which he simply cannot remember because he was so drunk." The pressures of football management have gotten the better of Paul. It has ended up with him going back to his old ways. "Paul was my childhood idol, and when sober is a wonderful person. Last night was genuinely the most difficult decision I've had to make, but my head won the battle with my heart. My responsibility is to Kettering Town and not to Paul Gascoigne."
Right.
The assault charges are later dropped, by the way. Okay. So, 2006... he takes part in Soccer Aid 2006, which seems to be, from what I'm gathering, seems to be like a, remember Rock and Jock people? Games on MTV? Mm-hmm. It seems to be
just the game for like fun.
I think it's a soccer game with soccer stars and also like
celebrities,
pop star celebrities, because he played for an England team captained by Robbie Williams, who's a singer. Okay. So they don't do the same thing.
Do they put a goal higher up?
They probably make it bigger. It's just worth bigger. It's huge. Goes the whole back lane. The whole back line is all gold.
It was MTV that did Rock and Jock, right?
Yeah, they did like the 5-point shot, which was stupid. It was way up high.
And then if the ball went through all three, is that 5?
I think so.
6? I don't know. They got extra points.
It was so stupid.
Thanks, Bill Bellamy.
That was really fucking dumb. They ruined that so much. It was funny enough just to go. The funniest thing about the basketball games is you watch them, and it was funny enough just to go, holy shit, I didn't know that guy was so tiny. Because everybody there was so tiny. And all the ball looked like too big for them. And then there'd be like a basketball player who's just like looks like a normal person. And there's like a 5'7" new kid on the block trying to cross somebody over. And you're like, come on, bro.
It's not happening.
Yeah. Come on, Naughty by Nature. You guys are fucking like 5'3". Chill out.
Tretch was pretty big, wasn't he?
I don't think so. I think he was also tiny.
I thought Tretch was big. And I know the other guy is super tiny.
Yeah, he's even tinier. I think they're tiny and tinier rather than regular and big.
Yeah.
So August 29, 2006 here, Gascoigne and Ray Clements visited Botswana as part of the FA's international outreach work and found time to visit the SOS Children's Village as well.
Oh,
wow. They went.
Diplomacy. They're going to fix some shit in Botswana.
He's famous. I guess that'll get attention on it, raise some money. The guests were shown around the village by family and family houses before taking part in a game of football, girls versus boys.
Okay.
Interesting. Gascoigne joined in with the village girls, who, despite a spirited performance, were outplayed by the boys. It was great to have a game. Some of the kids were excellent. They were so fast, quicker than leopards, and playing in their bare feet. They were unbelievable.
Paul, that's all they've got.
They took off very expensive shoes to play in bare feet. He's
idiot.
Wow, I couldn't even. I was speechless. That was wild. So they said that he's been supporting, and he's been trying to be a supporter of this for years and everything.
Yeah.
The footballers were impressed by both the village and the work done by the charity. He says, quote, "It was heartwarming, really. Some of the stories we've heard about the children being abandoned or orphaned are quite sad. It was amazing to see them all happy and cheerful. There didn't seem to be one sad face, which was incredible. It put a different perspective on things in my mind, but you can see all the good work and what they are trying to achieve. So the village has a marimba band that also performed for the guests as a thank you. So I'm sure he was dancing and doing all sorts of crazy shit there, embarrassing himself. Let's have
his own songs.
Let's have the only white guy in the village dance poorly. That'll be fun. I bet there wasn't a sad face on anybody. They were laughing hysterically at him. He just keeps putting his arms up and down in the air like just two pistons constantly going here.
They happen to have some music that means something to them here, Paul.
Yeah. Then in 2006, he wrote another autobiography.
Uh-oh.
I don't understand why he needs another one.
He's lived enough for another book over the last few years?
This is called Being Gazza, Tackling My Demons.
Oh, so this is talking about the shit.
He did a poor job of doing that, unfortunately, so maybe it was why that didn't go very well. This was with Hunter Davies and John McEwen, published in 2006. Yeah. September 18th, 2006, here. This is from when he was going to Botswana. It's before that. So he says, this article says, quote, Paul Gascoigne is terrified. In a Heathrow lounge, his entourage is trying in vain to enforce an atmosphere of joviality, but Gascoigne is pale and tense. He hates flying, and he's about to spend 12 hours in the air. In front of him is a plate of uneaten food, which he has very neatly arranged, then rearranged, slices of cheese in a line. He talks quietly to his agent, then heads toward the duty-free shop. He returns later with 1,000 cigarettes.
1,000?
1,000. That would be...
That's 5 cartons?
I was going to say 200 per carton. So, yeah, 5 cartons there. We are, after all, going away for 3 days. So,
3 days, 5 cartons?
Gotta have 5 cartons of cigarettes.
Holy shit.
Lighting the first, he confides that he's worried he may seem drunk. Or he confides that he was worried he may seem drunk. He doesn't. He seems petrified. 20 years ago, he explains, he was caught in turbulence on a flight from New Zealand to Fiji. He said the plane dropped 800 feet in a couple seconds and the food hit the ceiling.
Good Lord.
Said people say the time to worry is when the air stewardesses start crying, and every one of them was crying, so I got really scared. Jesus Christ. It's only weeks since the police raids that allegedly foiled a plot to blow up transatlantic planes, and this isn't helping. He said, I'm more scared this time than I probably have been before. But he said that it was important to do the thing and blah, blah, blah. So he shows up there. He's a mess here. He's still a mess, but he's showing up, doing a nice thing for the people here. I guess HIV is a big deal here. In Botswana, a third of the population had HIV.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, a third. So it was a major fucking problem.
A lot.
That's a lot. Yeah. He says that he said a doctor gave him a leaflet, and it said if you get bit by a dog, you can die really quickly. He said, but I got my jabs, so that was okay. Not from Muhammad Ali, but I got my jabs. So he's saying that he got all sorts of shots to not die from a dog bite over there. So he said once he got done with the flight, they said he was much better, chilling out. He said the orphans offer us, they came up and they had music shit they were doing here. They had a big xylophone. And Paul said it's better than Fog on the Tyne.
Oh, he admitted it.
Which is nice. He said, and they don't even know who their parents are about the kids playing the song. It's better
nice
than
song.
Fog on the Tyne.
I realize it's better than what I write.
Yeah.
What's your dad's name?
Yeah. All these bastards sure play great music, I'll tell you that much.
I don't write his music as well as you, but I know me parents.
Yeah, I mean, so you're all HIV-ridden bastards, right? Okay.
Who's your father?
Good song. And all these children don't even know that. Wow.
Nice music. Who hugs you at night?
Nobody. Good. Who
what
hugs
a dick.
You? Who hugs you, isn't it?
He doesn't even realize that that's a mean thing to say.
Doesn't get. That's what I mean. That's like he's so just clueless.
Off his own ass.
They said as they go around, he's starting to do OCD shit more. They said that he touches the blue door to one of the buildings 3 times. They said his anxiety stuff is coming out. His OCD is coming out. He was diagnosed finally with obsessive compulsive disorder, and he's been on medication, but the repetitive habits always pop up anyway. It doesn't matter. He said, quote, I had to touch it. You cannot explain the feeling. It's just something you have. Tapping the doors is just something I had to do. He says, but hopefully that's some good luck for them. The medication, so he says, slows down the symptoms. So maybe him tapping on the door will bring them good luck. I don't know how that works. Yeah, maybe they'll find their parents somewhere. And he said, I could come off the medication now if I want, but it's not going to stop me from, like, touching things 9 times. And I mean, I only touched them 3 times. Thank God it was not 27 times. It used to be 5, then it was 7, then it was 9. Now he's got it down to 3 times.
Oh, my God.
So that's his deal. They said he seems comfortable talking about all this, even though, you know, it's a lot here. His problems were made public when he went to Cottonwood, as we remember there, for his rehab stint. And he said, though, he keeps going back up and then back down again. He's fine for a while, then he drinks a bunch of booze and drugs and failure, and you know how that goes. So he said that he struggled to keep off the booze. He has dry periods and then lapses, and he is drinking wine when he's in Botswana, they said. Yeah. He said that the second book is completely different, he says, than his first book. His first book is just stories from playing. Here's a bunch of crazy stories.
Okay.
His second book is, like, different. He said it's about trying to help other people with illnesses. And he decided to produce it after receiving letters from readers of his first book saying how much it helped them with their own problems.
Oh.
He said it was scary to publish. At first, I didn't really want it to come out because I was telling everyone I had OCD. But Steven Gerrard's got it, so that's all right. And David Beckham has got it too, so that's all right. I'm quite happy the book is out now. The response has been fantastic, and the book went to #1, which isn't bad either. I get loads of great feedback, quite a few letters, and quite touching. I can't find this book, by the way, like on Amazon or any of the main. I'm sure it's like used places somewhere, but it's not like available to buy. There's no Kindle version of this fucking book. Yeah. So he's saying it's so helpful, but it's not entertaining. It's not. Let me tell you about when I got pissed and stole stole an ostrich from a zoo.
It's a textbook.
And then made sure to tell some kids they don't have parents afterwards.
Make sure it reminds some orphans of their shitty lot in life.
That'll be fun. We'll do that. So,
nice song. What's your mom's name?
What's your mom's name? He said he can cure the OCD in Philadelphia. He said there's a place that will help him there. He said, but that would mean another long flight, and he doesn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So, which isn't really that long from England. It's
England. It's like 5 hours, right?
It's not 12 hours. No, it's like 6.
Yeah.
He said, so I'll stick to the medication and just try to touch the door 3 times instead of 9.
Okay.
He said he threw himself into a game with the orphanage's team, but despite the fact that he had 3 broken ribs as well at the time. They said it's a dusty field. There's no grass or anything. And the kids are playing barefoot. And he said he was just amazed. He called them, quote, quicker than leopards. Incredible. He said he hasn't played football in ages. He suffered a neck injury in 2004 while practicing for Strictly Ice Dancing. He was
what? A TV show?
He hurt himself trying to get himself ready for a TV show, and he was his place was taken by David Seaman, and Gazza had his 30-second operation from that.
Really?
30-second, yeah. So he's having a problem here. He said
he's been cut 32 times?
Yeah, they keep doing it, man.
My God.
The children surrounded him, and they all even know about him down there, which is crazy. Even though he was really famous before they were born, most of them. They still know who he is.
Yeah.
And most of the orphanage's 226 children lost their parents to AIDS, or others have just simply been abandoned.
God
wow.
It.
He says, sometimes I think that I've got problems, but when you see kids like that, it puts your problems aside. You know, all
so
that AIDS and no parents and stuff. Have you heard him rap? He's terrible at words. He couldn't be worse at words.
Sometimes I think my life is shit, right? And then I go and see AIDS-ridden orphans.
I'm like, oi, mate, you're worse off than me, eh? Where's your parents? How much AIDS you got? All right, then, run off. And then he's like,
Where's
back.
your shoes, eh?
You've got more AIDS than shoes, mate, right? He taps him on the back. All right, then, just kidding.
Shoes and parents, add them together, you got more AIDS.
You got more AIDS, isn't it? That's right. Okay.
Jesus Christ, Paul.
That's a
You
fucking
insensitive fuck.
He's drunk. What the hell does he know? He thinks
Holy shit.
He thinks he's being a magnanimous guy and shit. He's just shit-faced. Doesn't know any better. Wow. The village is split into separate houses, each painted bright colors, each with a mother and an aunt who look after a dozen children.
Oh, my God.
That's tough.
Heartbreaking.
That is heartbreaking. Between the houses are a shared vegetable patch, a playground, of course, the football pitch, as well as the orphanage. The village has a nursery and a youth center on site. Well, that's good anyway. But, I mean, they don't have shoes or parents, and they all have AIDS, so that's not good.
Jesus Christ.
That's terrible. Derek James, the charity's national director, says the village's aim to develop independent men and women. He describes a girl who, as a baby, was rescued from a pit latrine. Oh, God. They just threw a baby in the latrine. They threw a baby in a shit pit. Don't need that anymore.
I can't imagine.
No, that's
worse than the bad bin.
That's the bad bin. Yeah, that is Olden Polonice's worst nightmare there. Now she's 11 and just won an academic scholarship to a private school in Botswana.
Uh-huh.
And he thought it would be hilarious to make her a bunch of tanning bed appointments. That's what he did. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't do that. In the other guy, in the middle of this unexpected, in the middle of this, you got him. So he picks up all the kids and he talks to them and he gives them fucking candy and cans out football shirts and all that kind of thing. The kids are very happy. And he said, we came over here to cheer them up, but they're doing more to cheer me up.
Okay.
He said he's modest about his efforts. He knows that this is a nice thing to do, but, you know, this isn't the greatest. He said, quote, I don't tell anyone any of them things, meaning all the charity he does. I've done a lot for people, sent people to Disney World and stuff like that. But it's my pleasure. I just did it. These are always the things I like doing. It's always nice to help someone because people always have helped me through my career, and it's always nice to give something back. Not good with words. He really isn't.
The worst.
The worst here. So they said he's almost naive, as he's described in this article. They said currently he's trying to build a big house in Newcastle for homeless children to live in. He said a lot of kids end up in London living on the streets. I think we're getting help from Newcastle United as well. So we're hoping to build a massive house for these kids. Then when it's up and running, I'll go and playing table tennis with them or five-a-side football and pool. The fuck are you talking about?
He's gonna build a place. What?
He's gonna build
Neverland Ranch.
Yeah, he's gonna build a giant house for orphan kids, and he's gonna go there so he can play ping pong with them.
It'll give him a thrill, you see.
What the fuck is he talking about? This is a weird guy, man. He's got a big fear of rabid dogs in Botswana. That's his biggest fear. He's going to get bit by a rabid dog because there's a lot of dogs in the streets. Yeah. And I guess not after cats, though. He's not afraid of cats here. So he did go to the nature reserve and meet cheetahs.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's how it is. He goes to pet the cheetahs here. Uh-huh. Before dinner, there's a display of Botswanan dancing. Quote, and I'm going to quote this right from the paper because I don't think I'd put it this way.
Be
quote,
careful.
A booty shaking stomp around the fire.
Okay.
That feels wrong, right?
It does.
Okay. When the country's health minister, Sheila Denotse Tulu, asks him for a dance, he's up in a flash, half waltzing, half disco dancing. We know what the dance is. We saw it on both videos.
Don't say waltzing.
It's this, and then he does this over and over.
It's very white guy at a party drunk dancing. That's what it is.
He's 2 seconds away from breaking out the sprinkler. Like he's that bad. Like somebody's
grocery cart guy.
Somebody's dad in 2005 is how he dances, basically.
It's drunk uncle at a wedding. That's what he does.
Yeah, totally. So they said that Gascoigne reveals his party trick, which thankfully does not involve plastic breasts or dentist chairs. Mm-hmm. He takes a napkin and writes the numbers 1 to 10 on them, then asks the minister to pick one. He shows us that the number matches what he had written down on the reverse side. This works a couple of times until he tries it on the wife of Britain's ambassador to Botswana. She picks wrong number after wrong number. Guess again, until finally she's left with one digit. And obviously that matched. She said she was impressed and won over by his irresistible grin and obvious pride in getting it right. Eventually, I'm almost wishing for the return of the plastic breasts, the article says. Please come over and ask for, people come over, ask for a signed photo. He does every one without any weariness. As the evening comes to an end, 2 Botswanan national footballers say goodbye, and he says, nice to meet you. I'll score a goal against you tomorrow.
Okay.
So, yeah. The next day, they're supposed to go to the largest hospital in the area here, but they can't find Paul.
Uh-huh.
So the one guy has to visit the hospital alone, where more than 15,000 people are registered at the infectious diseases clinic, almost all of them HIV positive, and he's not there. So they said, they're like, everybody had gone to bed the night before. What happened? Turns out that they figured out that Paul, everybody went to bed the night before all happy and feeling good about themselves. He got up in the middle of the night and wandered down to the hotel casino where he lost his credit card and his little schedule book.
Oh,
so
he didn't know where he was supposed to be.
Didn't know where he was supposed to go, and he ended up trying to find his list and his card in the casino, in the hotel room. Didn't find it until after dawn.
Yeah.
So that was his story. He didn't go there and gamble and party. Right. He lost everything and had to search the hotel from top to bottom for 6 hours. Not that he just gambled and drank and then fell asleep, because he's a person. So they said quote, although he won't say, I wonder whether the temptations of the casino have been too great to resist. Only last week he was caught out on a 7-hour bet binge in a London casino by the Sun newspaper. Jesus. But he maintains his OCD kicked in and he couldn't rest until he'd found his list. When he realized he was too exhausted for the hospital trip, he said he, quote, cried his eyes out.
Uh-huh.
I really wanted to be surrounded by the most AIDS ever, he said. I'm so sad I'm missing this. He's not sad he's missing it. He did that. He knew he was going to miss it when he went to the casino. So public criticism of him, particularly from his family, has shaken him. He said, obviously there's a lot going on at the moment. As regards getting stick from my ex-wife or from my stepdaughter being on the TV show, it doesn't help when they're giving you stick, but most of it is lies. He said, I'll move on and they can do what they want. By the afternoon, he's back hanging out with the kids again, playing soccer with them, doing all kinds of shit like that. He and Clements play a game that involves passing a ball and shouting condom as you receive it. I don't understand that game at all. Condom, just to let them know condoms exist. They know, hopefully by now. So he basically is like, tell you what, we're going to get the word condom stuck in these people's head like a earworm, and we're just going to do that.
Had your parents warned one, they'd still be here.
You wouldn't, but they would. The approach is a little naive, but here, the need to reduce the stigma surrounding the use of condoms is overwhelming. Despite the high levels of infection in Botswana, where the average life expectancy has plunged by 20 years since the 70s to 37. Average life expectancy is 37 because of AIDS.
It was only 57.
Yeah, which is not great, but I mean, there's not a lot of not a lot of hospitals and medical care, and it's not the same level of
hippos. I'm sure
there's fucking rabid dogs in the street. I mean, there's a lot of shit that can get you there. They said there's still a sense of shame around the disease, and Gascoigne said, "quote I've never said the word condom so many times in my life." He says,
"Yeah."
So they say they think that football can deliver messages that people cannot. So football coaches command respect among a teenage audience, and for the last 6 years, soccer, which they've been trying to develop in this country, has included messages about HIV in its training. Mm-hmm. So they're like, kick the ball. I'm like, now what you want to do, you want to go through around the back of the net, put a condom on just while you're back there, just for the fuck of it. I know you're not fucking anybody. You're in the middle of a game, but just wear one, just to get the feel of it, the fit of it, that sort of thing. He said there are some kids that obviously weren't born when Gazza was playing, but they knew him because his name goes before him. It's people that like football who, where possible, should be involved, especially where kids are concerned, because they're the ones that can get the message across. So they said, will he continue to work with children in football? And he said, quote, I don't know yet. Okay, well.
He's not sure?
Not sure. I don't know yet. Not absolutely. This is important.
See how this works.
I don't know yet. He said, I enjoyed it playing football with the kids. I feel a little bit stiff now. I haven't played for a while, but that's just because I've had a difficult time because of the neck injury and the other little injuries I've had. And then he goes on to say that he hopes to train to be a professional coach, but he says it's not going to be an overnight thing. And he said, I'm not in any hurry to do anything, just taking my time. And they're like, yeah, but we were just asking, are you going to help AIDS kids more again?
I don't know. I might be too busy.
You're real selfish and weird and self-centered.
I might be
bro.
coaching the World Cup.
I don't know. You never know. I could be coaching everybody. Maybe I'll play. Maybe I'll be the best guy on the team. You don't know. Who knows? He said, asked about the future, he gives the addict's reply, I don't try and think weeks ahead. I try to take it one day at a time. Mm-hmm. That's the only way I try to live at the moment, just a day at a time. Whatever happens, that day happens.
Yep.
So, yeah, he said, I like to think I'm a more relaxed person. I moved on. I'm chilling out now. I'm not rushing about or doing anything mad. I'm just enjoying life.
Yeah, got to do it slow, one day at a time.
Enjoying life. Absolutely enjoying life, which is fucking hilarious. So the charges, the assault charges end up getting dropped. I think I said that. May 29, 2007, Gascoigne has emergency surgery.
Uh-oh.
He has a perforated stomach ulcer.
What?
It's a bleeding ulcer. That is not good. You die from that.
How does it get perforated?
That's when it's bleeding.
It just
I think,
ate through?
Yeah, it's that. My mother had that once, and she died for a minute. It was bad.
Jesus,
it was really bad. They take her in an ambulance. It was crazy. So not great. So they said he had to have surgery, which was believed to be a success. His agent issued a statement and said Paul Gascoigne was admitted to hospital with severe stomach pains. He underwent emergency surgery for perforated stomach ulcer and will remain in hospital for a few days. He's recovering well after the surgery. Complained of stomach pains. He was taken to Newcastle General Hospital before being transferred to the Royal Victoria, where he underwent surgery. His best friend, Five Bellies, there, I guess, was with him when he fell ill. And they said it's the second time in less than a week that he's been admitted to the hospital. Jesus Christ, that's not good.
This is like his 38th surgery.
Yeah, and at least 33rd. I guess a week before, he had complained of chest pains after he had gotten home from a trip to Dubai and was taken to the General Hospital in Barnet in North London and had an EKG and fucking all sorts of stress tests and all that. However, he denied those claims for some reason, even though everybody saw him there and knew what he was doing, insisting that the hospital visit was caused by burnt feet.
What?
It was just burnt feet, he said, not chest pains. He said, in Dubai, I stupidly played football on the sand without shoes, and I burnt my feet, and now they're really sore. So he went to the emergency room for that.
Yeah.
Really?
They were just sore.
Yeah, the agent said Paul categorically denies having any heart palpitations or tests on his heart. He went to have his feet bandaged.
Okay.
Jesus fucking Christ. So they keep talking about all of his problems and everything like that. They go down his list of failures, and they said it has to come down to the person himself. This is what the Gordon Taylor is going to say about him. If he has problems, he can come to us, but it's down to the person themselves. You can only really provide help when it's asked for. I have a high regard for Paul. He's a lovable character. He's been under a very big spotlight throughout his career, and of course, he has well-documented problems off the field.
No kidding.
He's had a lot of people helping him. They'll help him through anything. February 21st, 2008. He's in Northumbria. And the police are holding him here at the Gateshead Hilton Hotel, where there was some concern about his behavior, apparently.
Oh.
Shocker. He had been asked to leave the hotel earlier that day after a disturbance. Police said he was not in custody and was receiving medical treatment now.
Oh.
So they picked his ass up for being crazy, is what it sounds like.
We don't have him. The hospital has him.
We were like, no, this is too much for us. We don't have medication for this guy.
Yeah.
So it's understood that he had moved to the Hilton Hotel after leaving the Malmaison in the early hours of Wednesday. Northumbria police confirmed that he'd been detained under the Mental Health Act.
Oh.
A Hilton spokesperson said, "We can confirm that the guest in question checked into the hotel early on Wednesday, February 20th. There was no disturbance caused at the Hilton. We did receive a phone call from the police later that day. Since then, we can confirm that he was escorted calmly from the hotel, and we are continuing to cooperate with police." So he's being
Was he 5150'd elsewhere?
No, it was here. They took him in. He's being sectioned under the Mental Health Act.
Mm-hmm.
Here. Trying to figure out what he did here. I guess the police attended the Hilton Hotel in Gateshead after receiving a report of concern for a 40-year-old man staying at the hotel. The man was detained. No one was injured during the incident. I guess that's good. They said he'd only been staying one night. He checked in. He actually came in from the police. The call came in from the police, so it was not from the Hilton. From our end, the police call came in, and we were obviously happy to help, but there was nothing that happened at the hotel to make us think that there was anything wrong once the police arrived that evening. He was escorted peacefully away. So I guess, I don't know if he called the cops and said he was having problems. He called the hospital maybe, and then the cops came. I'm not sure. But he's still in the hospital for a while, and they said Mr. Gascoigne had been staying with us for 10 days. Oh, at the hotel for 10 days and had been a perfectly friendly guest. That's the hotel he was at before that.
Yeah.
There was an incident at approximately 3 a.m. on Wednesday morning that led to a firearm being triggered. Alarm being triggered,
Okay. Yeah.
and then he left shortly afterwards. A source at the hotel said his behavior had caused concern among a number of staff and guests. He's a fucking mess. Let's just say that. June 3rd, 2008, he continues to be treated for health problems, mental health problems here. He spent 2 weeks in the hospital in February with similar problems that we just talked about. Now he's back again. So he's having a lot of problems, including he can't stop drinking, OCD here. His sister, June 4th, 2008, there's an article that says, "Sister fears for Gascoigne's life."
Okay.
Because of his drinking and mental health problems, Anna Gascoigne believes the ex-England player needs professional help and complained that hospitals are able to treat him only as a drunk person rather than dealing with the very dangerous combination of depression and addiction.
Right.
Yeah, they said he's been drinking, I believe, to escape. It's been a vicious circle. I have feared for his life the last couple weeks. Well, I assume they can only hold him while he's dangerous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got to voluntarily, by his own choice, seek help.
Right.
They can't hold him till he's doesn't want to drink anymore. That's not the state's job. They can't do that.
They can hold him until he's what they determine is not a danger
threat to himself or others. Yeah, that's it.
Right.
Otherwise, what the fuck are they going to do?
Right.
Now, listen, Paul. The state has decided to keep you from drinking. That's not really what happens.
We're not allowing it anymore.
Yeah. So June 7th, 2008. He's having some problems here. It says, this is from the Gazette, and it says, "Sad State" is the headline.
Oh, no.
That's not good. Former England star Paul Gascoigne's downward spiral continued last week as he was sent to a mental hospital for a second time this year after being seen in an agitated state in Hemel Hempstead, England.
Oh.
An agitated state. June 7th, 2008, he broke down and apologized to his ex-wife Cheryl for beating her during their stormy 2-year marriage. He said he's been tortured with guilt over what he put her through and denied the whole time. And this is at the clinic that he's at. He's yelling and screaming. He's being treated for drink and drug addictions that lead to suicidal depression, violent outbursts, schizophrenia, and panic attacks.
My God.
Jesus Christ. I guess Cheryl has visited him since he was put in this facility, and I guess he was apologizing to her. I think therapy's part of the whole proceedings.
Or he's at that step where you got to make amends. Yeah.
Make your amends here. One of the people who knew close to the couple said, "Cheryl is 100% Paul's rock. She has promised she will not leave his side now and is going to be there for him every step of the way. They've been divorced for 10 years and have this week spoken at length about how Paul mistreated Cheryl. He told her he would never raise a hand to her now and is so sorry for what he did to her."
Yeah, I bet.
Cheryl has forgiven Paul, but he is still haunted by the violence. It's what began his demise into drink and drugs. Gazza told a friend, I made up that she's in my life again. I want us to become a proper family again. She's a remarkable woman. I don't deserve her.
Yeah.
He has taken up embroidery to keep his mind off his trouble.
Oh, is that right?
Imagine this crazy fuck trying to embroider something. Wow, something be a little off, he'd lose it and rip it up and throw it away. He also loves soap operas on TV now.
Really?
And yes, and also he's been gaining weight by eating tons of spotted dick, he said.
Really?
Yeah, tons of it.
What is that?
I don't know.
Is it a sausage? Is it a cheese?
A diseased penis, I assume.
Yeah.
I have no idea. And custard.
Oh, yeah, I can understand that. That's good shit.
Yeah, he spent his Father's Day with his son, his 12-year-old son. It was the first time in 3 years he's seen his only child.
Unbelievable.
Wow. Cheryl's expected to bring the kid back again so they can work on rebuilding their relationship.
3 years apart.
Fuck me, man. So September 13th, 2008, he leaves his rehab clinic. He's in Portugal.
Yeah.
And he leaves his rehab clinic, and hours later, he's having his stomach pumped to wash out more drinks and drugs that he took in an apparent suicide attempt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just got out of the hospital, said he was fine, and then not.
Went to Portugal to end it all.
Yep, police found him in a semi-conscious state at a 5-star hotel in the Algarve, where he is reported to have been holidaying with friends since last month. He's believed to have suspected drug overdose as an attempt after an emotional argument a few hours earlier with his ex-wife and her daughter, Bianca, who had traveled with him to Portugal to try to convince him to stop drinking.
Wow. They went to Portugal to tell him not to do it.
Yeah, to stop doing it. An ambulance took him to the hospital where he was put on a saline drip. The hospital spokesperson said last night that Gascoigne had been treated and was released. So this is obviously just a disaster now. Yeah. A fucking disaster. Sources were quoted in the newspaper saying police were called because some trouble at the hotel and then requested medical support. He's a mess. He was sedated. Medics washed out his stomach, they said. Mm-hmm. September 19th, 2008. Here we go. Gascoigne arrested after clash with photographer. A different photographer this time.
Really?
Yes, he's got to stop doing that. This is, they're going to take your picture. That's just going to happen.
He's not a fan of him?
Not a big fan here. Paul was arrested on suspicion of causing criminal damage. He was involved in a confrontation with a photographer while leaving a pub, and so I think he smashed a camera or something. Mm-hmm. November 5th, 2008, Paul owes taxes in the sum of £200,000.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's a lot of money. He's been given 9 weeks of breathing space here to file his late tax returns and fend off a bankruptcy petition by Revenue and Customs.
Shit.
He has not filed any returns in the past 2 years.
None?
Just didn't file anything.
In 2 years?
Yeah, which is weird because it seems like it's easier to get away with that than filing false shit.
Yeah.
You always hear, how often do you hear like a guy, someone will have a huge tax bill and like he owes $5 million in back taxes, but there's no like he's going to go to jail.
Right.
But then like Wesley Snipes went to jail. So like what the fuck is the difference? The difference has to be you tried to cheat, or in other ones it's better just to not file it, apparently.
Yeah. At least I didn't lie. I just didn't do it.
I guess that's what it is. Yeah,
we didn't talk about it.
We didn't talk about it.
Didn't give myself the opportunity to lie.
Yeah, that's how. I guess that's literally what it is. I think so. They said that it's about £200,000 here. A London bankruptcy court said the case was adjourned until he could we're giving him 9 more weeks, see if he can come up with the money here. So his solicitor, his lawyer, Craig Montgomery, told the deputy register that the financial affairs of Paul were complex. It's very complex, involving interests overseas, and time was needed to submit returns and liquidate assets to meet his liabilities. So.
Yeah, normal people with day jobs don't try to understand this. There are interests from overseas.
Listen, we have overseas things. He's got a big interest in Botswanian AIDS stuff that's going on. You don't understand it.
He's got interest in Botswanan Trojans.
The man owns an ostrich. I mean, I can't get into all the complications that we're dealing with here. So 2009, July 23rd, 2009, he flirts with Ann Robinson on an episode of The Weakest Link.
Oh, the what?
He's flirting with the Weakest Link lady.
It was the Harry Potter looking lady?
Yep, the Sporting Heroes episode of The Weakest Link. He's like, bring that ass over here. I'll give it a ride.
Shit.
No condoms over here, buddy, by the way. I told, whatever you think I told those kids is bullshit.
She looks like an 8-year-old boy.
Robinson asked him if he's still fit, and he replies, I'm as fit as I did have the chance once, and I turned you down. I'm mad. He's like, I could have fucked you. I should have. Should have really fucked you when I had the chance, he said on TV. She's like, can we cut that snip there?
Is he drunk?
Yeah. So she said, now, come on, Gazza. We were in the gym together. I didn't know I had the chance. I'd have been off that treadmill really fast.
Oh, she would have done it. Yeah.
I think she would have. Yeah, he's got to be drunk. He's got to be. Afterwards, he said, quote, you should have seen how quick I pedaled when I saw you, darling. I'm single until I meet up with you later. Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. Later in the show, he tells the audience that he was hoping the quiz questions would be in his wheelhouse about quote, rehab, cocktails, and beer. That's stuff I know about.
What's all this history?
That is fucking hilarious. Then he played in another charity football game the next day here. March 29th, 2010, Paul is charged with drunk driving, or drink driving as it's known over there.
Yeah.
They were called to a disturbance at a takeaway in Leaming Bar, North Yorkshire. Yeah. And, he's got problems
He
with
ran
this.
through the drive-through drunk?
I think he was drunk hanging out at this place getting food.
Okay.
He's also been charged with driving without insurance and driving without what, Jimmy? A license to drive.
Anything at all.
No,
the ability.
We've forgotten how bad of a driver he was because he's done so much other dumb shit that's right. He's also a terrible driver.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
And a drunk one at that. So he and another man who faces similar charges will appear before the magistrates. The other man, I don't know why we're even talking about him, but he's in this article. Who's aged 40, has been charged with drinking and driving, being in charge of a motor vehicle whilst over the limit, driving whilst disqualified, and driving without insurance. The two men were charged after answering bail at North Allerton Police Station on Sunday. Oof, man, what a mess here. So May 7th, 2010, Cheryl was suing. The News of the World featured Paul's reaction to her claims of violent and sexual assault last year.
Yeah.
At a high court in London, it was accepted the article, quote, "You lying bitch" is the name of the article.
Yeah.
That's a nice name. Had suggested that Ms. Gascoigne had lied. The libel laws are a lot looser there. A lot.
Really?
Here you have to show malicious intent. You have to show that you meant to fucking hurt somebody and you knew it wasn't true. There,
you can just sue somebody for saying you lying bitch?
You can sue. It's a lot looser there. That's why you hear these lawsuits all the time where, like, American stars like Tom Cruise and Scientology, they sue the fucking tabloids over there all the time for saying the exact same shit the tabloids here say, but they can't sue for that.
They can't do anything, yeah.
Which is good because, otherwise we would have nothing to look at, read, hear about. Everybody would just sue everybody. So the paper gave an unreserved apology and the court awarded her a 5-figure sum in return. Yeah, in libel costs here. Wow. The article was published in the News of the World on October 11, 2009, and featured Mr. Gascoigne's response to an interview given in the newspaper about her book, Stronger, My Life Surviving Gaza, the week before. Imagine if somebody had a book called Stronger, My Life Surviving Jimmie. Imagine how terrible that would be.
Surviving Jimmie Whisman.
Wouldn't that be awful? You'd go, Jesus.
Who am I, R. Kelly?
Man,
Jesus.
it's fucking all in there. It's all in. Yeah, she was the original surviving this person.
Yeah.
That's
wow.
Wow. That is amazing.
So she can write that and he can't say that lying bitch?
Well, he can't. No. He can't say. He can say, because he said it wasn't true for a long time.
Okay.
And that was fine because he can say, because it's between the two of them. But when the paper publishes, they're publishing, I guess, their title, You Lying Bitch, and they're suggesting that what she said wasn't true, not just by the title, but in the article, rather than just quoting Paul as saying that, I guess. They were suggesting that he was telling the truth or whatever the fucking deal was. It said the article suggested that Ms. Gascoigne had lied in both her book and the interview by falsely claiming that Mr. Gascoigne had forced himself on her sexually. It also suggested that she had lied in both her book and interviews by falsely suggesting or claiming that she suffered repeated acts of violence at the hands of Paul. The solicitor for the defendant here, News Group Newspapers, told the judge, the defendant, through me, apologizes to Mrs. Gascoigne and joins in the making of this statement to assist in setting the record straight. She said, I'm just glad that justice is done. There we go. So she successfully sued over that shit, which is amazing.
Unbelievable.
Honestly. And she also said that Paul has started drinking again, which is not good here. July 2010, there is a Northumbria police manhunt.
Yeah.
Here for a guy. This guy was, I guess, accused of killing a bunch of people and having a big standoff and all this type of shit. Now, this will make sense in a second here. A police manhunt was a major police operation conducted across Tyne and Wear and Northumberland, fog on the Tyne, being all mine and all, with the objective of apprehending fugitive Raoul Moat. After killing one person and wounding 2 others in a 2-day shooting spree in July 2010, the 37-year-old ex-prisoner went on the run for nearly a week. The manhunt concluded when Moat died by suicide, having shot himself near the town of Rothbury, Northumberland.
Wow.
Jesus. Following a 6-hour standoff with armed police officers, Moat's victims were ex-girlfriend Samantha Stobart, her new partner, Chris Brown. Jesus.
Really?
England killed their Chris Brown. Done and done. Well, ladies, you can come out now. It's all safe. Stobart was hospitalized and Brown was killed, while Rathban remains in the hospital for nearly 3 weeks and was prematurely blinded or permanently blinded before dying by suicide. Moat shot the 3 with a sawed-off shotgun 2 days after his release from Durham prison.
Wow.
6 days on the run. After 6 days on the run, Moat was recognized by police and contained in the open, leading to a standoff. After nearly 6 hours of negotiation, Moat was shot with experimental wireless long-range electric shock weapon, long-range taser.
Yeah.
They fired electrified rounds, which proved ineffective. Well, there's that experiment. Never mind. Moat then shot himself in the head and was pronounced dead here.
Wow.
Yes, the manhunt began after the shootings in the early hours of July 3rd, 2010. Here we go. Now, we talked about that to get to this. Gascoigne appears in Northumberland town on Friday night in an attempt to smooth negotiations between police and the fugitive. He showed up
to
negotiate. It didn't work to negotiate. Gazza showed up and said, maybe I can talk about it. You know why? Because he was a, quote, good friend of Moat.
Oh.
He in the middle of a police standoff, Gazza's like, let me get involved here.
I got this.
He's just murdered multiple people. I'll take care of this. He
Ask
brought
the kids
him.
About Botswana. I'm terrible with words.
I'm really good with stuff, though. Watch me do this. Watch me bring him, quote, a can of lager, some chicken, a mobile phone, and something to keep warm.
A blanket?
Okay. He told the radio station, Gazza, quote, he is willing to give in now. I just want to give him some time, or I want to give him some therapy and say, come on, Modi, it's Gazza. Wow. He is all right. Simply as that, I am willing to help him. I've come all the way from Newcastle to Rothbury to find him and have a chat with him. I guarantee Modi he won't shoot me. I'm good friends with him. No, he shot himself.
Yeah.
Wow. So he showed up. That's fucking amazing. Hilarious. So they said, reacting with shock to the news that Gascoigne was there, his agent said, quote, he's doing what? Literally. They're like, so your client's going to intervene and stand in the middle of an armed standoff with a triple murderer. And then he said, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's going to do what?
He literally said, quote, he's doing what? I am sitting enjoying an evening meal in Mallorca. I'm speechless. What a fucking idiot is what he just said. Are you fucking serious? He did for real? No. Yes? Fuck. Wow. That's amazing. So the 20th that month, he has been warned he could be jailed after admitting driving. He was just talking about how he drove while being more than 4 times the legal limit of alcohol.
Fuck.
Jesus. He was stopped by police on October 8th. He is due to stand trial for drinking and driving. And they said he had 142 milligrams of alcohol and 100 milliliters of breath when he was stopped. The legal limit is 35. He had 142.
That's a lot.
That seems like a lot more. That's about 5 times the limit of what you're supposed to do, or at least 4 times. So the judge said all options up to and including a custodial sentence were open, and a 12-week jail term was possible given the high level of alcohol recorded.
Wow.
That's trying to kill yourself drunk.
Yeah.
That's like John Bonham drunk. You can't be that fucking drunk out there. Holy shit. So he's supposed to go on court for a separate drinking and driving charge as well. When asked about wow, that's so I'm still laughing at the agent going, he's doing what?
Where is he?
I didn't set that up.
I don't get 10% of that.
This isn't my doing, but I just want to let you know. I didn't get him that gig to intervene in police fucking standoffs with armed murderers. He said, he won't shoot me. I'm Gazza. That's who he is.
Thrice murderer. He's killed 3 people.
Killed his ex-girlfriend. He liked her at some point, too. Killed her. He's like, but I'm Gazza. He won't kill me. It's fine. And he didn't, though. That's the thing.
He did.
Killed himself first.
Yep.
October 2010, for some reason, he came close to being appointed manager of a team.
Really?
Who the fuck would let him manage anything?
What team?
I wouldn't let him manage a McDonald's at this point. Garforth Town.
Maybe there's a lot of suicides there.
He's trying to talk somebody down. Maybe there's just a lot of police standoffs and aides around there and ostriches. So after weeks of talks between his agent and the club, he decided to turn down the offer.
Yeah.
But he says he does want to be a football manager. He's turning down offers.
I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here.
Wow. That is fucking amazing. That's incredible. October 23rd, 2010, he is arrested again.
Uh-oh.
Suspicion of possessing drugs. Not good here.
What kind?
This is the day after he was told he could face prison for drunk driving that he already did. So he is on suspicion of possessing a Class A substance after a raid at a house in North Tyneside. Interesting. They confirmed that he has been arrested, along with charges with another man who was arrested on suspicion of supplying the drugs. Okay. That's interesting here. Let's see if we can find it out. November 4th, 2010, they delay his drunk driving trial because he's got other problems now. They're worried about other problems here. November 12th, 2010, he is supposed to appear in court to be sentenced for drunk driving after he went to rehab, and instead he does not show up. He just doesn't show up. Nope.
He didn't even go.
Nope. His lawyer said he went to rehab instead. They're like, no, we were going to send him there. Send him there. The process has been delayed a couple of times, and the judge said it will be within his powers to jail him for not attending, but it would feel like a sledgehammer cracking a nut, he said.
Oh.
If he's in rehab, I'm going to pull him out of rehab to throw him in jail so we can put him back in rehab when he's done. Let's let him finish rehab, and then we'll sentence him in November.
Okay, all right.
So, why do that? However, he was frustrated, the judge. He thought he was very annoyed by it. He asked the lawyer, quote, who's running the show? You can't get your fucking client here. The judge said that Gascoigne was unfit to be interviewed by probation officers when he attended a meeting last Thursday because he was drunk.
Yeah.
He showed up. There's a pre-sentencing report for his drunk driving to figure out what his sentence is going to be.
Right.
He had to show up to talk to people about how he's not going to be bad and going to be good, and he showed up fucking drunk for that.
I'm not going to drink. Are you
that
drinking?
is insane.
Are you drunk right now? Yes.
Yes, I am. And I'm very, very happy about it.
I won't do it again.
I have an ostrich. So,
wait till you see what's in the bag.
Wow. He's a fucking mess. Probation officers could now interview Gascoigne while he's in rehab, and the judge said, repeating, all his sentencing options, including jail, were open. The lawyer said, the situation is that I received information through the course of the last 48 hours advising me that Mr. Gascoigne has been readmitted into a rehabilitative institution in the south of the country. And the judge went, he just went, Jesus Christ. That's wild. So December 10th, 2012, Paul Gascoigne has escaped the prospect of spending Christmas behind bars. He didn't escape rehab. Yeah. The troubled former New England midfielder was given an 8-week sentence, suspended for a year.
What a guy.
So that judge is a mensch right there.
Truly.
He's also banned from driving for 3 years and handed an alcohol treatment order. He's got to get his shit together, too.
Yeah.
I guess police had seen him driving an MG erratically, and he admitted drunk driving. That's how this whole thing started. Yeah. And, this whole thing's a mess. His lawyer said, quote, the talk now is of an extensive and elongated period of support, while not actually under the roof of the Providence Project, but certainly within easy reach, given the continued support they would propose to offer. So previously it has been on his terms. He's gone in and he's used it as he saw fit and, of course, relapsed because he had not done the full program. This time it's being done on their terms.
Okay.
So they said it was a 12-week thing with a third of it as credit for the guilty plea was appropriate, a third of it off, I guess.
Yeah.
So he's got to go in for 8 weeks. He said the suspended sentence, that's the suspended sentence, was in recognition of his progress in this program. He said, if you reoffend in the next 12 months, though, we will trigger the term. And he said, quote, I hope to not see you again.
Ever. Yeah.
Yeah. Gascoigne said that he was relieved, and he said it was a good result. And that's outside the court. Well-wishers shouted, Toon Army never surrenders. I don't know what that means.
Tuna Army?
Toon Army.
Oh.
Like Toon. Not tune like he wrote a tune, like a cartoon. He signed autographs. He got into his lawyer's car, and there he was, going off now. He sported a Manchester City pendant on the passenger window of the car. It wasn't his, it was the lawyer's car, which he didn't play for, which is funny. He was also tried on a separate charge of drinking and driving, which he denies. He's a mess. So, like we said, May 25th, 2011, his bankruptcy case is dismissed. A bankruptcy petition against him has been dismissed. The judge was told during a hearing that lasted just minutes that Gascoigne, whose clubs included Newcastle, Tottenham, and Rangers, had reached an agreement with his creditors. So he won't have to do anything here. He owes the tax man £32,000 and faced a bankruptcy petition. He owed the creditors the rest. So they're going to give him some time to pay off the full debt within a structured time scale, which I thought was kind of what bankruptcy was here. So they heard that an individual voluntary arrangement has been done, and he has to pay £825 in court costs. Now, 2011, he writes another autobiography. I don't know how many autobiographies. Just every 5 years.
This one should be great, though.
It's called. It doesn't sound like it. It's called, quote, Glorious, My World, Football, and Me.
No,
it's like
lying.
a nice. It's a nice.
Bullshit. Yeah,
it's a nice one there.
He's a lying bitch.
That's in 2011. Let's leave it there. Let's leave it in 2011. Okay. And we will have to have a part 4 where he just keeps getting arrested. He's still fucking up all the way up until like a month ago. There was shit going on with him. So there's a lot more to talk about. Pretty much all crime from here on out. There's really not much else to talk about, but he keeps getting arrested for dumb shit and drinking. Yeah. We'll talk about that. We will leave off, and we'll pick back up on August 3rd, 2011, where he sues the Sun, the paper, over allegations of defamation and invasion of privacy. Oh, my God. So that will be a really fucking good time here.
Terrific.
So we'll pick up on that. So there we go. That is Gazza. If you like that, tell everyone about it. Say, damn it, they got 4 parts on Gazza. Listen to this shit. Keep hanging out with us. Also, like we said, if you listen on Apple Podcasts, go in and make sure that you have the automatically download on, because otherwise they did an update that changed everything.
You won't get it. Yeah.
And we've had a lot of people messaging us like, my Small Town Murder and my Crime and Sports, my Your Stupid Opinions, they don't show up anymore. They don't, where the fuck? I can't get the episode. And they have to go in and manually do it. And it's really, thanks, Apple. That was really helpful of you. Truly. That was, everyone said, if only this could be more difficult. Could you do that for me, Apple? Right. So if only, podcasters, what are they doing here? They're competing with 45 fucking million people making podcasts, YouTube, every fucking streaming thing on the face of the earth, live stuff. That's what sports. You're competing with all of this, okay? Then it's just going to be audio. Then it's just going to be this. Then it's just going to be that. Then why don't we make it so they don't even get the shit all the time? How about that?
Right.
How about that? How about if a TV show had made you go in and manually fucking download it every time? It didn't just air. You had to manually download it.
I am incredibly annoyed with that Love After Lockup.
Yeah. When you subscribe, it means give that shit to me.
Give it to me now.
When there was magazines, you subscribe. They sent one every fucking month.
Yeah.
You know why? Because that's when they put one out. Well, when we put one out, we'd like it to go to you.
Right.
Thanks, Apple. So
appreciate it.
Thanks for making this even fucking more difficult.
Right.
It's not like you don't fucking get business out of this, too. What the fuck is happening? I swear to God.
Nobody cares about anybody else anymore.
No, it's crazy. So definitely do that. You certainly want to listen to the other shows, Small Town Murder and Your Stupid Opinions. You definitely want to follow on social media. We're at Crime and Sports on Facebook and Twitter. And you definitely want to get Patreon, most of all. Patreon.com/crime-and-sports. It's the one thing that nobody can fuck with us on.
Right.
Nobody can put ads in it. Nobody can put other stuff. Nobody can not have it download. Patreon. So patreon.com/crime-and-sports gives you everything. $5 a month or above, whatever you want to give, gives the entire back catalog of bonus stuff. It's hundreds of episodes and new ones every other week. One Crime and Sports, one Small Town Murder. You get it all. And they're, no matter what your interests are, it pretty much crosses over, these two. Right. So for Crime and Sports this week, we're going to talk about strangest injuries that we've ever heard of in sports. So there's some weird ones out there, and we'll get into that. For Small Town Murder, we are going to dip back into old newspaper articles for a lot of people's favorite stuff here with the old-timey murders. They're so much more brutal, the old-timey murders. The papers are just so frank about what happened.
Yeah, well,
it's
the
wild.
The weapons are dangerous. Everything's just much more dangerous.
It's so fucking dangerous. So we'll get into all that. That is patreon.com/crime-and-sports, and you'll get a shout-out at the end of the show as well. So do that. And also, if you want to go to shutupandgivememurder.com, you get tickets for all the live shows for Small Town Murder, and there will be a virtual live show on 420 as well. We're wearing costumes that are going to be fun, so that'll be good shit. So that said, Jimmie, I'd like to hear something from you. I'd like to hear the names of the most fantastic people in the world who keep our show going and who get amazing stuff on Patreon every 2 weeks. Jimmie, hit me with that list right fucking now.
This week's executive producer are Peyton Meadows, Kyle Norwig. He's an enormous fan of Fog on the Tyne.
Awesome.
Vanessa Thompson, Angry Lesbian Socialist, and all of our other producers this week. Holy shit, strap in. We have Jacob Cook, Maria Victoria Munoz in Scotland, Melissa Spears in Australia, Joel Sellerite, I think, S.J. Surridge, Anna Mueller, Janice Hill, Brandy Davis, Alexandra Jane, Jack Imhoff. All right. Ellen, with no last name, Jason Bryce. Yep. Yep. Rich Pope, maybe. Poppy. Jacqueline with no last name. Zebra with no last name. Rory McBride. Lacey Lady. Yeah, that's true. Jeff Scherer. No, it's not Lacey. Is it Foxy? Foxy Lady was that pup that died. Oh, that's what that was. Oh. Foxy Lady is another one. There's also Lacey Lady. Jeff Scherer. Keenan Keeljew. Cool Jew. Oh, boy. Cool Jew? I don't know. It's Kulju. That's not what it sounds like. Kylie, Cheryl, Braden O'Shaughnessy, Joe Crystal, Rebecca Miller, Deb, Gentry T, Beja Pulowski, Braxton Heiserman, Lise, Lilys, Lissa. Oh, I think it's Alyssa. Holly Mobley, Valerie Johnson, Neil Roper, Alex Reynolds, Harvey with no last name, Stephanie Wilson, Jake Phillips, Lindsay Galvin, Joanna Smarzinski, Maddie's Shug, maybe? I don't know, Shug. Kevin Richards, Joe Basich, all right, Tess Ledoux, yeah, like, all right, a boy from Oz, Spencer Morey, Shay Grant, Haley with no last name, Joseph Riling, James L, Jay Winborn, Wing King, Carolyn Munns, Bert Booker, Aaron Henson, Bobby Gagne, maybe? Gagne. All right, Tony Spigany, Regaletta, Angela H, Rebecca L, I'm just moving on. Ebony Ingram, Amy O, Hannah Lee Billings, Buck Fan, 357. Hope you stay away from anything that's a 357.
Yeah,
that is a... tough day. Andrew Oakton.
Tough day for you fellas.
Lindsay Farraco, Alicia Kufeld. Lynn Capella, Cece with no last name, Daniel with no last name, David Orley Moberley, Kristen with no last name, Scoop with no last name, Chelsea Smith, Heather Belbeck, Mark Pyle, Erica Morin, I think, Victoria Dunn, Brian Sibley, Don Thompson, Lisa Bernie, R. Caldwell, Caleb Keenan, Gabby Sukovich, Derek Hunter, Tana with no last name, Caitlin Renfro, Steve N. Verito with no last name, Olivia Steiner, Sue with no last name, Caitlin Spencer, Cameron Graham, Jason Boutonnet, Jamie Goldberg, Nicole Cusera, Robity Bobbity, Carolyn Brewster, Genesis Crow. Danny with no last name, Chammy 103, Anthony Harris, Tyler Scarborough, Bo Dufault, oh boy, Default, Cassandra Niffin, Heath Harvey, Heather with no last name, Mistress Linda, the Grande Dame Gilf. Gilf. Wow. She's a Gilf of Findom. Right. I don't know where that is. VP with no last name, Heather Brown, Jennifer Nardini, Tina Marie, Hannah with no last name, Joy Henry, Mackenzie Wells, Jessica Gonzalez, Kelly Pashkayo, Dave Mazzarelli, Sophie C, Callum White, the original caffeinator, Bart Simpson, Elizabeth with no last name, Samantha Boyette, Cameron Tooch Magooch. If you
I hope
want
nobody's real name is Bart Simpson, by the way. That would be tough.
That's probably not
Yeah,
true.
I get it. Thanks. I know.
Yeah, it was after. It was long before. Jason Cuddy, Amy Lewis, Dave Jordan, Megan Plouffe, James with no last name, Nita Bodenschatz, Mark with no last name, Logan with no last name, Tia Dalby, Matthew Quigley, yep. William Roden, Nick Umbarger, Alexis Kaiser, Harley Locklear, Dalton Bratton, Jesse Seal, Anais, Ron, Roni, Chelsea Waite, Brandon Mills, Albay, Corbett, Cameron Bargy, Christy H, Anna Schwartz, Ty Blom, Bo Glover, Carolina Peterson, Charles Olson, Chuck Olson. I think it's two, the same guy. I think he's got two. Richard Russell, yeah, Blake Murray, Elizabeth Pohl, Todd Harry, Lauren with no last name, Mike Abbott, Mary Ford, Carla Mundy, Todd Guidry, Amy Kalat, Dallas Strait, Vanessa Shepard, Lisa Berube, Andrea Damonaco, Christy
Close.
Caring, Tom Steffens, Barbara Spencer, Carla O'Connor, Matt Clark, Monica with no last name, Darby with no last name, Haley Villafuerte, Kaylee A, Abigail Steed, Kylie Haley with no last name, Danielle Roberts, Crystal Souza, Shun Lagoo, Anna Dolores, Oogly Boogly, Wood Brown, Chad Brow, and Woody Brown. Carrie Russell, Max with no last name, Caitlin Rogers, Tatiana, and all of our patrons. You're amazing.
Thank you so much, everybody. You wonderful, beautiful, fantastic bastards. God damn it, do we appreciate you and all that you do for us. We will keep pumping out the good Patreon for you. Don't you worry about that. And we'll keep pumping out the good regular episodes as well. Listen to your stupid opinions. Listen to Small Town Murder. Listen to Crime and Sports. Keep hanging out with us. You want to find us, the lists are on social media on our for our social media. The list is on our website there. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com. Drop down, pow, pow. And next thing you know, you're following us and everybody else. And live from the Crime and Sports studios, we will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like Crime and Sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.